Welcome to Cork IAHC for the inaugural final of the Co-op Superstores Intermediate A Hurling Championship, with a local derby to settle in the Muscary division between neighbours Aghabullogue and Eire Óg. My name is Patrick Mulcahy and I'll be bringing you through today's game tonight here on the Irish Examiner live streaming service, and joining me will be two-time All-Ireland winner with Cork, Tom Kenny. Before we talk to Tom and before we see the teams for this evening's game, let's hear from both camps. Momentarily we will hear from Aghabullogue PRO Michael Dilworth to give us their thoughts ahead of tonight's game. But firstly, let's head to the south side of the River Lee and hear from Eire Óg manager Donal Hurley. Arrived, especially after being promoted to Premier Senior Football for the first time in your history.
That's right, Patrick. We're waiting. It's like waiting the long grass, waiting to just get the game over with now with the lads, because they're getting tired. The bodies are getting tired a small bit, but they're well up for this game now on Saturday. Well focused, which is good.
Tell me about that semi-final. I suppose it's one of the historic games, really, because of the penalty shootout. It was the first ever penalty shootout under the auspices of the county board. Give our viewers a reminder of what happened on that famous day in September.
Yeah, it was a great match. Stars came to all guns blazing towards us and really give us a great game. We pulled it out of the bag twice to get a draw twice in the closing times of full time, and then again in extra time, and then penalties, which was a new thing for both club teams. Even the referee didn't know what to do, what we're going to do or whatever, But as I said, the lads stood up, took the penalties. Two of our best shooters, you would say, Cameron Halsey and Dylan, went first, and two of them missed. So we were relying on the other three, but Dylan was in goal. So he brought off two massive saves for us, and we just got over the line, as they say, And
obviously, as I've mentioned, you've been kept busy as a dual club because you won the Senior A Football Championship, defeating Mallow, a game which was live here on the Irish Examiner Sport live streaming service. And now this Saturday you're facing into a hurling final, looking to get promoted up to Premier Intermediate for the 2021 season.
Yeah, to be fair to the footballers, they had a great outing. They got, between the both clubs, between the hurling and the football, we give them a break for 5 weeks lead up to their time, and they did the same to us now to this final. So which works out. The dates worked out perfect for both sides of us, between the hurling and the football. And, they went out guns blazing against Mallow, which worked, for them, and they came out victorious, which is great, And
obviously it's a long time in the waiting. You mentioned about being in the long grass, but I suppose it's a championship that started near over 12 months ago now at this stage.
It is, and, to be fair to probably Aghabullogue and ourselves, we're waiting, and the dates kept moving, with this COVID, with the pandemic. It was hard to judge and how to do things. Be fair to our players, they knuckled down and walked to a system, and they were very dedicated to what we asked them to do, and that's why we're here in this final,
So do you think, Donal, fitness will be a thing that you're going to have in your back pocket because you've already won a football final in the past couple of weeks?
I would say probably yes, in a small sense, but as a hurling local derby, it'll bring a whole different dynamic to the game, because it'll be just pure raw aggression for a lot of it, and one or two lucky things or break of a ball will make a big difference in this game,
And you mentioned about the local derby. I suppose we should mention about Aghabullogue. Only the River Lee separating both clubs, so this is a real local derby from the Muscary division.
It is, it's a big local derby, probably for Muscary, as you just said there, Patrick. But the lads are up for it. A lot of the lads went to school together. They know each other. There's probably relations in both sides of the camp as well. So it'd be all tense on the night. So please God, we'll come out on top.
What's been the atmosphere like, both within camp and out and around ovens there outside the city?
I'd say within the camp, we're probably calm and collective at the moment. It's probably getting itchy feet out leading up to the final. Now this week, fellas will get itchy and get nervous, but we'll control that as best we can. But the people around us, the older generation, I would say, they're always talking about local derbies when they were playing Aghabullogue, Ballincollig or Clonov in big games. So it's a huge thing for the locals, as I would say. It's really the old generation. It's a big thing for them, which they're enjoying it, the buzz of it, being around the place,
And I suppose that is the one thing with this game again, that there's only 500 people allowed to attend. A lot of the older generation will find it hard not to be at the game after being at so many games for Eire Óg throughout their lives.
Yeah, it's probably frustrating in that side of things for them, because they're always at our games, and Eire Óg always have a great following with their supporters. And this is the ones they all want to go to. You know what I mean? Because it's local derby between Aghabullogue and the history between both clubs. But the only thing is, as you said, the live stream is excellent, and that'll help ease the cushion a small bit with the old people. The older generation.
So Páirc Uí Chaoimh now at 7 o'clock. Obviously, your bunch of players have already had an experience. 6 weeks ago at this stage. You're looking forward now to the ball being thrown in at 7 o'clock in the centre of the field.
Oh yeah, we're looking forward. We just can't wait to get into the park and just give it a good shot and see what happens on the night. How would you say? Both teams are probably equal enough in certain things. The lads went to school. A lot of lads went to school over in Courtshire. They were played with each other over in Courtshire, so they will know each other in and out. And for us, it's just get on the grass now and see what we can deliver. And I think hopefully we deliver on the night.
So I'm joined by Aghabullogue PRO Michael Dilworth now. And Michael, thanks very much for joining us. Very much a local derby, and we'll speak about that in a moment. But I suppose we're 10 months in the waiting for this final now, and it's been a long time. You've been waiting very much in the long grass for Eire Óg.
We have, Patrick. I suppose nobody envisaged last year that the championship wasn't finished. I think when we were playing the semi-final, we were looking forward to a final possibly the following week. The plug got pulled, and here we are. It's the same for everybody else. I think Eire Óg played the same day as us. Look, it is what it is. It's unprecedented times, and we've had a bit of preparation, I suppose. So we're ready for it. We're ready for Saturday night, and we'll give it a good shot.
And you lead nicely into my next question. How have been preparations out in Aghabullogue?
Well, I suppose it's been difficult initially because the lads could do nothing for the first 6 months of the year or whatever. I used to see them running past the house here on the road and whatever else. I suppose the league campaign, ideally the league campaign came in first. We were worried the championship could be played early, back in the first couple of weeks, and that they'd have no preparation or whatever. So we've had 5 championship games, or 5 league games. We played Glen Rovers, St. Finbarrs, we had Newcestown, we had Middleton and Russell Rovers in the final. So we won the league, so it was good preparation. We had 5 good games with the league final last Saturday against Russell Rovers. So we're here and we're ready to go.
And just speak about last year's knockout games. You defeated Mayfield by 2 points in the quarter-final, and you defeated Kildallery in the semi-final by 9 points, I think it was.
It was, but it was only in the last 10 or 15 minutes that we kind of took over against Kildallery. I think we were pretty much ahead all game, but there was only 2 or 3 points in it. But we got a couple of good scores there kind of midway through the second half, and that put a bit of daylight between us. Against Mayfield, we were quite lucky. That was a very, very tight game. Mayfield had a chance to, I think they had a chance to either level it or go a point up with time up on the clock. And we went up the field and we scored 2 points deep into injury time. So, we were quite lucky to come out of that one, but we did. And we're here, it was, you don't know at the start of the season where you're going. I suppose like every club, you want to win the first game. You don't want to be in a relegation final. And we got a bit of momentum, and then we got into the playoffs. And once you start seeing the playoffs, you're thinking about a final possibly, and here we are.
Tell me about some of your players that we're going to see this evening. I know one of your own players, or one of the Kilnamartyr footballers, I should say. He's playing hurling with yourselves, Dan O'Donnell. He's been impressive with the Cork footballers this year. He's one of your mainstays in the team.
Oh, he would be, yeah. It was great to see Dano get a run out on the Cork football team. I think he's been knocking on the door there for a few years. But Dano is just a natural hurler. If I was prepared to say so, I think Dano is actually a better hurler than footballer. And I think if he applied himself, he would be straight on that Cork hurling team. We hadn't had Dano all year in the league. He's only come back to us since Cork were beaten by Kerry. The same with Paul Ring, who's been with the Cork team as well. So, preparations haven't been great as far as the 2 of those lads are concerned. But I think Eire Óg have a couple of lads like that as well, Colm O'Callaghan and possibly 1 or 2 others. You know, we'd have a good blend of young lads coming through who've been playing at a high level. You know, they've been playing at Premier 2 and Premier 1 over the last number of years. And we've a few old heads on the team as well who are there to kind of bring them along. And, you know, there's a nice mix in the team. We've some really, really good players on the team. And, you know, hopefully on the day, we're quite hopeful on the day that these lads will pull it together. And we'll give Eire Óg a right run for it, you know.
You mentioned at the top, Michael, about this local derby. Of course, there is only the River Lee separating Lee, and there's a lot of ownership being pulled at both ends at this famous bridge crossing the River Lee, separating both Eire Óg and Aghabullogue.
There is, and if you go back further, Patrick, the River Lee, before the dam went in, there's actually a part of the parish that's considered Aghabullogue that's actually in Eire Óg, way down at the corner down in a place called Fargus and Cronody. That's actually technically Eire Óg, I think, as far as I know. But the bridge is the crossing point where we meet. Yeah, there's rivalry. I suppose the big rivalry would have been back in the 70s. We would have met in a lot of mid-Cork finals, a lot of close-run finals, and we would have been 50-50 on those. They won a few and we won a few. And those lads' sons and grandsons are playing now, you know. And yeah, there is rivalry there, big time. And some of those lads would have gone to school together and coached with as well. So they all know each other.
Tell me, what's the atmosphere been like over the past week or so? Is things now starting to rise towards this final and starts to bubble up to Saturday night?
Oh, there's people going to Limerick looking for flags, green and white flags. There's a shortage of flags around the place. There's plenty colour up around the place. Of course, Limerick aren't giving away their flags yet. There's flags bunting. There's a scramble for tickets. Everybody's looking for a ticket. We get 250 tickets in the parish. Eire Óg get 250 tickets in the parish. Kind of crazy, but look, them's the rules, as they say, and nobody can do anything about that. Yeah, there's a lot of excitement. A lot of people really wishing the team well, and a lot of people are quite hopeful that we'll give a good account of ourselves out there in the park.
And from a team point of view, how are they getting on this past couple of days?
Yeah, look, they've been training well. They've been training well all year. You're going to have a few niggles. I think early on in the season, every club suffered the same. There was injuries. Every club had a lot of injuries. I think every club probably had 8 or 10 hamstrings going back in the early stages. But I think most of those guys are back, and you know, we might have a few niggles or whatever else. But we'll put out our strongest team on Sunday. Whoever's fit will be out in the park on Sunday. And again, those lads will be bursting for road. And you know, there's a Premier Intermediate hurling for the winners, so that's a carrot in itself, you know.
Thanks very much to Donal Hurley and to Michael Dilworth, who we caught up with during the week. And let's say a very good afternoon and good evening, in fact, a very breezy evening here in Cork IAHC, and very warm welcome to two-time All-Ireland winner Tom Kenny. And Tom, thanks very much for joining us this evening. You know these two clubs very well anyway, from your own divisional section in Muscary. It's a big game for both clubs.
It is, Patrick. Thanks very much. Delighted to be here. I suppose it's a big night for the Muscary division, in two teams contesting the Intermediate A final. There'll be two bordering clubs. I'm not sure whether there'll be fierce rivals as such, but there's not too much land between them. Some good players on both sides. Obviously, we've some recognisable names on both sides. Eire Óg have their county success already in football, so they'll be looking to do a double look and kind of get a bounce off that. Aghabullogue obviously will be looking to keep going and do what they want to do in terms of winning a county, but looking forward to the game.
Let's have a look at the sides this evening. We'll start out with Aghabullogue, who named their 15 and goes as per programme. Of course, Finbarr Foley, one of the great stalwarts of the club, will start out in goal. Paul Ring, of course, Cork footballer and under-20 winning All-Ireland medalist in 2019, starts out in the half-back line. And another man you'll notice from a football central is number 10, Daniel Dineen, of course, started in the football team against Kerry in the football final, also plays his football with Kilnamartyr, while captain Ian Barry Murphy will be flanked alongside Paddy Toomey, and Matthew Bradley, who's already scored 128. Shane Tarrant, number 12, is the 5th highest scorer in this championship. He's already scored 40 points, 27 of those from frees. As for Eire Óg, 9 of the team who faced Mallow start tonight, of course, when they won the Senior A Football Championship. Dylan Desmond plays his hurling with UCC also, was famous on the Irish Examiner live stream last year when winning against Mulcahy in that divisional section. Conor McGoldrick, cornerback, was the under-20 hurling cornerback a couple of weeks ago, or football cornerback I should say. Of course, he's a nephew of Brian Lohan. Ronan O'Toole and Darren McCarthy will hold the middle of the field, while an interesting forward line of Colin O'Callaghan, Daniel Gooley and Kieran Sheehan, 3 footballers starring in the front 6 for Eire Óg this evening. Just to give you scan your eye over those, Tom, those 2 teams for this evening.
Yeah, and as I said, look, there's some recognisable names on both sides. If you start with the Eire Óg side, as you said, your full forward line there, Daniel, Kieran and Lar Considine. You said a lot of footballers in that line, but at the same time across the Eire Óg team there's a lot of footballers. You've Colin O'Callaghan as well, Ronan O'Toole, and Dylan Desmond in goal. I suppose he's been a UCC stalwart over the years in terms of intermediate and Fitzgibbons and county championship last year with us, so they'll be looking to add another medal to their collection. And you go to the Aghabullogue side then, as you said, 2 recognisable names, Paul Ring and Daniel O'Donnell, but you've Shane Tarrant and Magic Bradley as well. There are three big names there in the forwards that seem to be the scorers in chief for Aghabullogue. So again, that's what they'll be looking from those 3 lads today, to clock up the scores from play and to go from there.
Absolutely indeed, and of course they have to go without the services of Owen O'Shea as well. Of course, who had a surgery on his hamstring only a couple of weeks ago. Of course, earlier on we were at the junior final, but the All-Ireland semi-final was delayed, Tom, due to an overturned truck, and we're watching pictures ourselves here, and Peter Casey just getting sent off only minutes ago, 10 minutes left, 10 points in the difference, so Limerick got a straight red card with Peter Casey. It's interesting times still. We thought Limerick were home and hosed, but they're not just quite home yet.
And look at that there, just watching it on the laptop here in front of us, it didn't look overly like a ferocious tackle, but maybe the reputation went before them in terms of what happened there in Galan in the Munster final. Doesn't look over here. Waterford are through. Great save there by Nicky Quaid. But look, Limerick are a big, strong, powerful team. They were the favourites going up. They're 10 points up with 10 minutes to go. If they were to lose this one, they'd be very, very disappointed.
We'll keep you up to date on that, and we'll touch on tomorrow's semi-final as well a little bit later on. As for these 2 sides, Tom, there's not a whole lot of rivalry because there isn't a whole lot of history. The history you have to go back to is back to the 60s and 70s. That's a bit too far away. But what there is local parish rivalry, and it's only separated by a bridge crossing the River Lee.
If you see the pictures online during the week with Eire Óg colours on one side, Aghabullogue colours on the other side, and I suppose you'll have the townlands of Coachford, Roylan and Aghabullogue will be hoping that there'll be a big win for them, and you've Ovens and Farron here on the other side. So look, they're very close together. There's a main road splitting them in one sense. As you say, the rivalry was probably big back in the 60s and 70s, but I think it's going to be a very good game, going by the league campaigns they've had, going by the championship campaigns in 2020. They seem to like to clock up the scores, Aghabullogue more so. So look, it could be an open game, but there's a strong breeze blowing down towards the city end here, so
to the Blackrock end,
to the Blackrock end, sorry, and it'll make it could make for a difficult task whenever you're playing against that wind.
Yeah, very similar to pictures that you would have seen earlier on this afternoon with Park Rain blowing from left to right down to that Blackrock end. And Tom mentioned about the championship scores. Aghabullogue scoring in their 5 championship games last year 4 goals and 103 points, while Eire Óg scoring 6 goals and 89 points. And I suppose looking at the 2 semi-finals, hard to judge obviously because it's 10 months ago, but Kildallery, they beat did Aghabullogue 125 to 213 I should say. And of course Eire Óg having that history game, as many are calling, back on the 27th of September, the first ever time a game in the Cork County Board went to penalties, and they won that 2 goals to 0. Famously enough, actually, Dylan Desmond missed his penalty and saved 3 more. That's
right. Pity wasn't on Flower Lodgeford, I suppose. 2-0 I think Eire Óg won in the penalty shootout, but yeah, you're right. Look, they've clocked up big scores. Any team playing with the wind here tonight could have an advantage in terms of getting a score, especially in the first half. It's a difficult one in hurling, whether to go with the wind or against the wind, because the tendency when you play the game is that when you're with the wind, you could build in the half back line midfield, and your kind of emotion takes over and you say, I'll go for a shot here with the wind, when the best thing is just to play the game as you'd normally play it,
We look through the teams, there's a great mix of youth and experience. I suppose looking from an Eire Óg point of view, when you've got the likes of Daniel Gooley and Kieran Sheehan back in the club full time, it must have a big effect on the Ovens club.
Yeah, huge. And you look at Kevin Hallisey there as well. He's got fierce experience there as well. So, but Daniel and Kieran have been I suppose I know Kieran was out in Australia for a good number of years, but these lads were a club for a good number of years and winning minor counties and, you know, underage counties and going on to win junior county. I think they won the junior football back in 2008 it was, you know, and gone on to win a lot of titles since in football. But those guys probably were the heroes to a lot of the younger lads in Eire Óg and Ovens at the time, all those years ago, and they're probably playing with them now. So they'll be looking for a big performance from them. I suppose Kieran is carrying injuries. I don't know how long more he's left playing, but if this was to be his last game, he'd love to go out in a victory. But you'd imagine we're well into 2021 now, so he might play the 2021 championship as well, you know.
Yeah, we're a long way into that indeed. Our referee this evening is Brian Murphy of Carricktool. He's flanked by Joe Coppinger of Middleton and Brian Canary, actually, who done from Crosshaven, who done the Senior A football final when Eire Óg defeated Mallow here 213 to 1-7 over 6 weeks ago now at this stage. So Eire Óg looking to have a famous double written on the cards for the 2020 season. They're playing Premier Senior football in the 2021 campaign. They're looking to make it up to the third level of hurling campaign. But for the moment, it's here at the Intermediate A hurling final as we pause for our national anthem. Again, an attendance of 500 here this afternoon in Cork IAHC. Breezy, cool Cork IAHC. Could be showers arriving a little bit later on, but for the moment it is dry, and it will be Aghabullogue who will be defending the city end, playing from left to right in this opening half with a strong breeze. Tom, give us your prediction going into this.
I suppose you've no form as such to go by, Patrick, given the championship was last year. Going by the score lines that they've clocked up in the leagues this year and the championship last year, I'd give my nod to Aghabullogue, but Eire Óg will put up a big fight, and especially after winning the football championship.
And it is Aghabullogue who've won the opening possession, walked inside in towards the full forward line, and an early opportunity here for Ian Barry Murphy, the captain of the side. They get this under away, and they've just crept inside that near upright. Ian Barry Murphy with 2 points in the 2020 championship, getting the opening score of the 2020 final.
Yeah, great score off his right hand side here. He got out in front and turned inside and then outside, and he clipped it over the bar with the wind.
So the first time to see the pucker from Dylan Desmond. Of course, we saw him here in the senior semi-final for UCC last year. That ball walked over towards that far side. There was a hook inside there, but the ball is going in. It's gone in and over the bar. That is a massive, massive score over there on that far side.
By Daniel Goulding, I'd say.
Joe Cooper, I'd say. Joe Cooper. Just the numbers are difficult from both camps here this afternoon. It looks like Joe Cooper it is with that opening score for Eire Óg inside a minute. 1 point apiece here in Cork IAHC, and again it is Eire Óg who are coming out on top. Here's Ronan O'Toole, the former Cork footballer, half hooked inside there, but balls worked inside in towards the full forward line. That's a heavy challenge in there. Very well, Brian Murphy is happy enough to leave play continue on, and Jerome Corkery, the man who planted that challenge, is going to leave play continue on. That ball is thrown out over the sideline. It was blocked out over there. It's going to be an Aghabullogue sideline ball. Great block down there and great tracking by the Eire Óg side. Heavy tackle on Kieran Sheehan, but I suppose he's a big physical strong man and well able to take it. So it's an early opportunity for a breather already in what it was a blistering opening 90 seconds. Brian Murphy just heading over to the Aghabullogue man to we've Daniel Goulding playing here in the left half forward position. Kieran Sheehan is in full forward, and Joe Cooper has gone into the far corner on the right hand side. Yeah, Lark Considine just there behind the referee in the foreground of your picture, and it is Paul Ring, the Cork footballer, Cork panellist, who was requiring some attention on that occasion, as that sideline is taken down that far side. Great catch there by John Cooper, was so influential in the Senior A football final. Sent in long inside, looking for Goulding, but the Aghabullogue defence have met it well. Dennis Quinlan, and inside there Aghabullogue have won a free for themselves inside their own 65-metre line.
Yes, and look, within scoring range here now with the wind. High ball came in there, the Aghabullogue defence dealt with it well. Bit of a tackle from Dalian Goulding, look, not much in it, but it was a free all the same, and a chance for Aghabullogue to get another point on the board.
So it is an opportunity here for Shane Tarrant, as I mentioned at the top. 40 points to his championship credentials for 2020 and make that number 28 in the free count and 41 for Shane Tarrant.
Great score there from about 55 yards from his own goal, but look, wind assisted. Great score, and the minute he struck it he seemed confident and he jogged back into his position.
So early lead for Aghabullogue after 3 minutes. The puck go from Dylan Desmond down towards this near sideline, and again Aghabullogue winning the breaking ball. Good work there by Sean O'Connell. Dan O'Deneen sending it side to Darren Rooney. Dangerous, but Desmond, very skillful keeper, places out over towards that far side of the field. Ronan O'Toole from his own 45. Long ball. Walking in up inside, and again breaking ball. Aghabullogue looking at it, maybe tried to keep it to the floor. Great tackle inside there. And play continues on. Paul Ring through his booty. He was brave inside there. And here's Sean Fury, but Fury's been turned over, and it's a chance for Eire Óg to try and set up a score. Well, it's a bit fiddly at the minute, but they still are in possession. Kevin Hallisey walking this ball across. The wind is going to hold it up to Joe and land inside the middle of the parallelogram. Ball still inside there, and doing very well. Finbar Foley to knock it out over towards that far side. Over towards Daniel Goulding. Goulding with the shot. 2 goals to his name this year in championship. He's got his first point to level the game for the second time.
Yeah, and he drifted across the field there, looked to the right half forward into the corner, picked up a loose play. Dangerous ball came in that was held up in the wind. Finbar Foley dealt with it just towards the end, and Daniel picked up the break and slotted it over.
Puck out over towards that far side, and this time it is Aghabullogue, I should say, who've gone in on the breaking inside. They're walking inside in for a score. Inside there is Matthew Bradley, and Bradley gets that ball in and over the bar.
Daniel Deneen got that one.
Daniel Deneen, sorry, it is. Numbers are quite difficult here, Tom, but it is Daniel Deneen, made a bursting run through the heart of the defence.
Yeah, look, and I think he showed the danger that he has there, and the minute he picked it up, he was on his bike and he was gone, and if there's space in that defence, I'll imagine he'll keep going through it at any opportunity he can.
Puck out from Desmond down towards this near sideline as they walked up there from Kevin Hallisey, looking for Kieran Sheehan. Tried to play a boot inside there, but the referee leaving play continue on. Niall Barry Murphy picking up the crumbs as we switch towards the Blackrock end. Ian Barry Murphy breaking onto the ball. Is there a chance there for the captain to get his second score of the game? He came into the game with 2 points to his credentials. He's got 2 points already in this final.
He has, and it started with Aidan Barry Murphy back full back. He put a great tackle in on Kieran Sheehan and dispossessed him, and they got it up the field straight into Ian Barry Murphy and over the bar. So
it's Aghabullogue who leading 4 points to 2. Dan O'Deneen was caught out on that occasion as there's a ruck ensuing for the first time here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh this afternoon, and of course earlier on Liz Gould winning the Cork Junior A Hurling Championship, as we've seen a little bit earlier on live here on the Examiner live stream, as Aghabullogue have won this breaking ball. They're trying to work it inside. Here is the full forward, Paddy Toomey, just failed to pick it up on the first occasion from the 13, works it outside, but numbers there for Eire Óg have turned over possession, and a chance here now. Dermot O'Hurley through the lines they're going. Dermot Deneen was caught there by his own man by friendly fire Darren McCarthy, but Deneen's done very well. There was a foul, a pull of the jersey on the Eire Óg defender. Is going to be a free out. Yeah,
Dermot Deneen probably got a bit lucky there. Look, I think Ronan O'Toole got in his way. Small bit lax clearing the ball up the field there. They had a chance to get rid of it, but they're playing, trying to keep the ball, keep possession and work it up the field. You can see what Aghabullogue are trying to do down here at the Blackrock end. They're keeping 30-40 yards of space between them and the full forward line and getting the ball in there as quick as they can.
Here's Dylan Desmond switching the play, finding a spare man over on that far side. It's a great ball to find out over there as
John Cooper, I think.
John Cooper has walked around the outside, but that goes to the right hand side and wide for the first wide of this game, as the referee says that puck was miles too quick for his liking. He wasn't ready to take that. That goes down as a wide for Eire Óg. So numbers just a small bit on the difficult side here, Tom, to pick out.
Small bit. The white numbers and the Eire Óg jerseys are difficult to see.
Here's the puck out from Finbar Foley down the centre of Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Breaking onto it, Matthew Bradley off the left hand side. This wind is going to pick it up all the way. It's gone in and over the bar.
Score.
And the strength of that wind, when he struck it first, Tom, it looked like it was going to shot, but so strong the wind, it's carrying it.
And he was under pressure from the defender. Got good time on him, a good block, but that wind carried that ball over the bar. As you say, it didn't look like it was going anywhere when he left ice early.
Here's the puck out from Dylan Desmond down towards this near side. Well blocked down there, but it's Eire Óg have won it on this occasion through Dara McCarthy. Offloading to Diarmuid Dineen and working it inside. Through the lines, Colm O'Callaghan. Here's John Cooper. Long shot, Cooper going all the way in over the bar. Cooper, he was so influential in the football final. He's starting to put a foot stamp on this game. They lead by, or the Aghabullogue lead by 2.
Big score and lot more efficient there with the ball. Worked it out, got it to John Cooper in the middle of the field and got it over the bar. So they're picking up their intensity a small bit.
Long puck out here once again from Finbar Foley down the centre of the park. Breaking ball won by Dano Dineen. He's got pace, he's got skill, he's got tenacity, he's got resilience, and he's got the score.
Great score again. Picked it up a break, cut inside, and he actually could have kept going, Patrick, but he took his score, and they're 6 points to 3 up after 8 minutes.
Co-op Superstores Cork Intermediate A Hurling Championship live on the Irish Examiner live stream once again. We'll have more county finals to bring you, plus the 2021 County Championship over the coming weeks and months. Do stay tuned to irishexaminer.com/sport for more information. As this ball's walked in towards the centre of the park, there's a high tackle in there on Sean O'Connell. Play continues on, switch down towards this near sideline. It's a chance now maybe for Colm O'Callaghan to get in on the act. He's turned over that ball, pops it off out to Diarmuid Dineen, looks for the 1-2 back. Colm O'Callaghan showing pace, going through the heart of this Aghabullogue defence. But the Aghabullogue man, Diarmuid Dineen's been turned over there by Paul Ring. Good touch there from Ian Barry Murphy, looking to try and help his man. Here's Matthew Bradley from his own 65. Long ball, going a long way in, but it's the first Aghabullogue wide of the evening.
First wide, yeah. Looking again, Aghabullogue are playing a sharp passing game into the wind. It's high risk in that if it falls down, it breaks down. But they've hit a long ball now into Kieran Sheehan, and he's out on the far side with it.
Here is Sheehan, 30 yards off from goal, off the left hand side. Wouldn't be a renowned hurling player. What a score from the Cork former footballer! Unbelievable score from Kieran Sheehan.
Great score out by the sideline. Looking, it was probably the first ball that he got a bit of space and it went straight into him. So maybe that's a template they could try a bit more in the first half, because the ball breaks down sometimes when they're out around the middle of the field.
Well, I can tell you Limerick have confirmed their place in the All-Ireland final, 128 to 17 points, and they'll face the winners of Cork or Kilkenny. We'll get Tom's thoughts a little bit later on that, and also on tomorrow's semi-final as Aghabullogue, I should say, have won a free over on that far side, and a chance now for Shane Tarrant to tack on a second score in this game for himself.
Yeah, Shane is taking the free. If you go back over the scores in the match reports over the last number of weeks from the championship last year, Shane and Matthew Bradley seem to dovetail in the free taking, but Shane is starting on him tonight. A difficult one out by the far on the 65 out by the far sideline, but he's got a point already, so let's see can he add to it. So
Tarrant already scoring a free in the 3rd minute to send Aghabullogue into the lead. This is now to extend the margin back out to 3, and he has confirmed that, and Aghabullogue go back out to 3-point lead.
Yeah, good free, and look again, far sideline, difficult free, especially so early in the game, but he nailed it and he was quite confident to take it.
This wind is having a massive effect already in the opening 11 minutes.
You can see it in the game, yeah. Look, you can see it. Eire Óg are trying to work the ball up into the wind and not let it fall into Aghabullogue's spare man.
Here's
Here
John.
they are working it again.
John Cooper from the centre-back position, trying to work it over towards that far side, looking to try and work a further score, playing it into the top of the left over that far side. Over there is Colm O'Callaghan, it looks like. Daniel Goulding seems to be playing left half forward. Paul Ring has dispossessed him, and here come Aghabullogue on the attack once again from their own 65. It's a long puck here. It looks like Daniel Dineen is taking this one. It's going in short though, and Dylan Desmond has dealt with it very well, playing it out to his full back line. Looks like John Mullins popping the ball. Well, dummy that one. Diarmuid Dineen in possession. Outside him, Ronan O'Toole bringing it up towards the Aghabullogue 45. Shortens the grip of the hurley. Switch the play.
Mark Constantine.
Mark Constantine it is. Joe Cooper, in fact. Joe Cooper with the shot, turning it around over the left shoulder. Yeah. That's a great score against the wind over on that far side.
Great score there from Joe Cooper. Look, their handling is getting a bit better. They seem to be the odd few occasions. Eire Óg with the hand passing and the stick work seems to be just a small bit off. They need to be a bit more wristy and a bit more sharp in the striking. And that was a good score again. They're only 2 points down.
Here's Finbar Foley down the centre, was blocked on that occasion. Great blocking there though by Paddy Toomey as the Eire Óg man tried to pull on the ball. That's a loose hurley there by Sean O'Connell. Too high on that occasion for Brian Murphy's liking. It's a free for Eire Óg against the wind.
Yeah, probably look a disappointing free from a Aghabullogue perspective to give away there. He could have easily stood up to challenge, got a flick in or stood up Daniel when he got the ball. Free here now for Kevin Hallisey on his own 65 into the wind. Long way to go, but I think he's aiming it up.
Hallisey from his own 65. Strong breeze, as was at the junior final. It's going to drop short. It's going all the way in. There's a wind, kept it, and actually turned it inside that far upright. Great score from Hallisey to get himself on the board.
Like it was going right on the wide, or wide on the right as we looked at it there, but the wind kind of curled it in and went over. And again, great score from his own 65 into the wind.
So that's Hallisey's first score of the game. He scored 20 points into this championship. It's the first Eire Óg score from place ball, as this is landed out short and running onto it. Looks like John Cooper pops the ball. In fact, it was Ronan O'Toole it was, but Aghabullogue have intercepted on that occasion. There's a loose man inside here and a chance for Dan O'Dineen. Dineen now taking on this goal, goes for the shot, Tom, and goes for the score.
Yeah, very comfortable score there. Look, he took a chance, I suppose, and drifted on as a forward when Eire Óg went up the field, but even when he got it there, it was a very comfortable, very confident strike over the bar from Dan O'Dineen.
That's the third point for the Kildamartyr footballer, and more importantly from the men wearing green and white this afternoon. The Aghabullogue hurler is Dylan Desmond. Pucks this ball down to the near side, and again Sean O'Connell has won that, and that's worked out well for Matthew Bradley. He breaks onto the breaking ball in towards the 13 metre line. Bradley looking to extend the lead out to 3, and with the aid of the wind just going in that far upright, there could have been the call of Hawkeye, but I think he's got the right call. Yeah,
look, and it was a great bat here I think by Sean O'Connell in front of us, and it evaded the Eire Óg players, and Matthew Bradley ran onto it and got another great score. Again, like Dan O'Dineen, very confident in his striking and going well.
So an early lead here for Aghabullogue, 9 points to 6 as we come to the closure of the first water break, and the ball squirting in the middle, and again Aghabullogue really throwing bodies on the line. Here's Diarmuid Dineen now, switching the play over towards that far side.
Joe Cooper.
And it is Joe Cooper. He's gone inside the 20 metre line. He's escaped the hackles of the Aghabullogue men going by the byline. But going to the left hand side and wide. Yeah,
good defending there by the Eire Óg defence. They got back and he had to cut in towards the end line to get his score. But look, he picked up. There was a glimpse of what he's good at there in the speed. And if they can get more ball to him and to Kieran Sheehan inside, I think they can get a couple of more scores.
There's a cute ball from Diarmuid Dineen over towards that far side. And Joe Cooper was the last man to hit that ball wide. It's been an entertaining opening first, just less than 15 minutes, 9 points to 6. It's been quite decent hurling so far.
It has. And look, Eire Óg are keeping themselves in the game against that strong breeze. It's been quite open, as we said before the game. No goal chances, but plenty of point taking. A lot of space here being picked up for the Aghabullogue players, I suppose, down in this half of the field. But if Eire Óg can keep their stick work tidy, ball to hand and that kind of stuff, and work it up the field, it'll go a long way. And a few times they've got it into Joe Cooper and to Kieran Sheehan, they've looked dangerous, so I think they need to try and do that a bit more.
And likewise at the other side, Ian Barry Murphy and Dan O'Dineen, when they're getting into space with the possession in their hand, they're advancing very well as well. Yeah,
look, Dan O'Dineen has 3 points there, and 2 of them have come from space in front of him. You know, he could have kept going and tried to work a goal situation. But he has legs, Matthew Bradley has legs, and Shane Tarrant is, after getting 2 frees, I suppose he hasn't anything from play yet, so they'll be looking to get Shane Tarrant into the game. But there is space there for those Aghabullogue players, but the Eire Óg rear guard is holding firm at the moment.
Big prize for the winners here, because there's a space in Group A of the Premier Intermediate Hurling Championship, which will be starting in September. Carrigaline, Courses and Youghal. Of course, 3 teams who faced each other last year, and in the winner of this clash, of this Mid-Cork clash in the Muskerry division, Aghabullogue and Eire Óg. Only the River Lee and the bridge separate him. The south end of the bridge, Eire Óg, and the north bridge is Aghabullogue.
That's correct. Aghabullogue have the first water break puck out here, so there's no tricks being done like you'd see in some teams in league games and championship games on TV. Straight up ball onto the pitch.
Finbar Foley to resume the game over towards that far side, and it's going to be knocked out by an Eire Óg man over there, and a chance for Aghabullogue to set up a sideline ball. As we scan around the field, Eire Óg happy enough to play 3 men in the full forward line, just 2 men in the full forward line for Aghabullogue.
And they're keeping the space in front of them, Patrick. They're trying to keep the space as best they can anyway.
Matthew Bradley now is going to be taking this sideline ball, but 60 yards out from the byline on that far side.
Yeah.
And a chance for Bradley, 128 I should say, going into this game. He's already got 2 points in this encounter as he goes in squirty across the face of goal, and Dylan Desmond keeps that ball in. Low, sharp shooting ball down towards this near touchline, just touched on there by, looks like Ronan, in fact that's Kevin Hallisey, it is. Plays a smart ball inside to Colm O'Callaghan. Colm O'Callaghan, well, you know he wasn't a hurler really, and that's not knocking him, but just couldn't get the cleans of touches, and Aghabullogue are going to clear it defensively. Doing very, very well. Dermot O'Hurley pops the ball back outside to John Cooper. Cooper through the centre of the park. Eire Óg needing the first score of this second quarter. Over towards Ronan O'Toole. Being closely marshalled there by Dan O'Donnell. The two footballers harrying each other. O'Toole late tackle on him. Here is another footballer, Kieran Sheehan, over the left hand shoulder. Just turning too much to the left hand side and wide.
Yeah, looking like Kevin Hallisey's free. The wind brought in Kevin Hallisey's free a while ago. That ball was probably looking to sail over the bar, but the wind caught it and kept it wide. But again, look, another shot from Kieran, and very, 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 very close in it. So again, get the ball into Kieran Sheehan there, and he seems to be doing a bit of damage.
Finbar Foley thought about going short, but this time he goes long up the line. And again, Aghabullogue just trying to scoop it along up the line through Sean Fury. And I think that's the one trait with Aghabullogue from what we're seeing, is that they're trying to keep it on the floor. They're much better and much harder working in the rucks.
They seem to be at the moment, and any ball they get, they seem to be letting it in that bit snappier. They seem to be getting it into Matthew Bradley, into Shane Tarrant, and into Dan O'Donnell. Eire Óg need to work the ball up the field with that wind, but at the same time they're getting it up the field, and they just need to be a bit more crisp in their striking.
Chance here now for John Cooper from the sideline, sending it up the horses near the sideline, and well, there could have been a foul given there, but the referee is happy enough to leave play continue on. Chance for Sean Fury now, pops that ball, but he popped it out to a Eire Óg man. That's Colm O'Callaghan using the short stick work. That stick was really too short, got in there in the act with Paul Ring. Cleared out there by Sean Fury, only 20 yards up the field, but Eire Óg or Aghabullogue looking, trying to work it through the lines despite playing with the wind. Ian Barry Murphy, this is just turning to the right hand side and wide for 2 wides apiece in this game now.
Tailed off there towards the end. It looked like it was going over. He was out by the sideline here, but the wind caught it and tailed it off. But again, look, Eire Óg broke down an attack there with Colm O'Callaghan. Aghabullogue broke down an attack on Colm O'Callaghan, so Eire Óg need to get him more into the game and get him motoring.
Puck up from Dylan Desmond over towards that far side. Great tackle there. Great touch by Matthew Bradley to knock that ball away, and he's gone on his bike once again. Takes a bounce of the ball to settle himself. Didn't get a clean strike though, and it's a chance for Diarmuid Dineen to help back his keeper. As Eire Óg now looking to try and work it out defensively. John Mullins is outside here. He gets it out to Mullins. Sends it along in towards the full forward line. Kieran Sheehan is inside there, but just got a hand to it, not enough on it, and it's going to be cleared out by Aghabullogue. Aghabullogue, the more efficient team in the opening 18 3/4 minutes so far. Long ball inside, great, well read there by Fionn O'Rourke, and a chance for John Cooper to set off on another Eire Óg counter-attack. Does well on a dummy. Another long ball, one-on-one situation inside. Well, you could call it what you will. He's got the ball inside as Daniel Goulding. Goulding, has he been taken down? Is it an aggressive foul? It is, and it is going to be a penalty. A penalty awarded by the Carrytool referee.
Yeah, looking great work down here by Diarmuid Dineen and John Mullins in the first place. I know the ball came to naught after, but it was worked up the field, and John Cooper let a great ball in. Kieran Sheehan and Daniel Goulding had switched positions for a few minutes. Daniel used his years of experience in winning the ball out in front and making sure that he held off the tackle to win a penalty. Yeah, so it was a penalty, alright.
So he was brought to the ground. Compared to what we saw earlier on in the junior, of course, only that is a pull of the jersey is only it's not an aggressive foul. Well, you could talk to him in a way. He's going to be getting a yellow card for pulling the man to the ground. But as I was mentioning, the junior final, it was quite clear that it was just a pull of the jersey, which isn't aggressive foul, but for pulling the man down inside the big parallelogram, that is an aggressive foul, and that is a penalty inside the big parallelogram. Of course, all fouls inside the square, small square that is, would be
well worked by
penalty.
Daniel Goulding and Kieran Sheehan there to change positions. You know, it's probably something they worked on in training for Daniel to drift in, and Johnny Cooper spotted it there, and a great ball into him.
So good time for Eire Óg to pick up a penalty, and it's a chance. Looks like for Kevin Hallisey against Finbar Foley. Hallisey with the shot, saved by
save.
Foley. He was blind to it, and a great secondary tackle from the Aghabullogue defence, and they've got a chance to clear their lines.
Great save there. It was probably a perfect time for Finbar Foley, but it was still good power on the strike, but a great save.
And could they turn a 4-point turnaround here? Fury sending this ball into the corner. Is there a chance of a score for Aghabullogue? Would be a massive turnaround if they get it. They will do it, and it's the 4th point of the afternoon for Dan O'Deneen.
Yeah, big movement there, I suppose, from the save from Finbar Foley, and they picked up the break. Aghabullogue worked it down the field. Dan O'Deneen again drifted inside behind the cover and picked off an easy score for himself.
Now, what are Eire Óg? What's their character going to be like for the next 10 minutes or so? This crossfield ball over towards the far side is going to work out for Paddy Toomey. Toomey with the shot, and Toomey, who already got a goal in this championship against Kildallery, he's got a second goal to his name, or second point I should say. Yeah,
great score again there by Paddy Toomey. Look, he the minute he left his hurley, he was pumping and fisting the air, so he knew it was over. But look, the penalty save seemed to have vitalised Aghabullogue there for a couple of minutes. They went from 3 points up to 5 points up, and they're going well now so far.
Yeah, beautiful crossfield ball over towards that far side, and Paddy Toomey getting that last score. Some attention coming out for Dermot O'Hurley. Just a pause and play for the moment, and O'Hurley just not happy with that left boot at this moment.
Eire Óg will be disappointed there, I suppose, at the penalty. It was a well-struck penalty in terms of strength, but probably at the right height for Finbar Foley. He was half debating going to his left, but he just stopped at the last second and saved it on his right-hand side.
And crucially, he had to get the Hurley back across to the other side. He was on the left-hand side. He had to swap back across. I'm sure we'll get a look at that at half-time. As this puck from Desmond. What a fielding catch from Colm O'Callaghan. Brilliant stuff from the Eire Óg wing forward, but again, some heavy hitting, some physical tackles going in here, and well taken by Michael Dennehy. Offloads that ball to Declan Rooney over on that far side of the field. A good composure from Rooney. Sees Paul Ring right here in front of the south stand. Ring from just outside his 45. Well, it wasn't the greatest of balls for Ian Barry Murphy.
For it.
Going for the score might have been indeed, as Dermot O'Hurley sets off another attack for Eire Óg. Here's John Cooper through the centre of the park, looking to try and get these Eire Óg forwards involved, but that was a poor ball there from
Lark Considine.
Lark Considine indeed, and the sideline's taken quickly actually, and here's Paul Ring. Ring has knocked this ball out over the sideline.
It was a good hit there by Kevin Hallisey. He was looking for the free, but it was a good shoulder, and it was a good shoulder as well here. And as Aghabullogue are working very hard, in fairness to them, from the midfield back and trying to crowd out the Eire Óg space.
So a chance here for Kevin Hallisey. The Aghabullogue mentors not overly happy with the Crosshaven sideline official's decision. It did look like the ball did cross the line.
Yeah, he hit him a good shoulder. He slipped out over the line. He tried to keep it in with his hand, but the ball did go over the line.
Great cut inside here from Hallisey in towards the edge of the parallelogram, but dealt with by the Aghabullogue defence. And once again, Niall Barry Murphy there walking from centre back, walking to Matthew Bradley. And here's Aghabullogue's captain Ian Barry Murphy, but he just fell over the top of the ball, and play continues on.
Yeah, look, they were looking for a free there, but he had actually missed the ball in the first instance, so play was going on.
Paddy Toomey back there working, but Ian Barry Murphy was out of position in that stage, and John Cooper now with possession, switching the play down towards this near sideline. Great catch inside here by Kieran Sheehan, the former Carlton star, the Cork footballer. He's walking inside looking for the de-exclusion zone, kicked it across to face a goal, and goes right and wide, and that will go down as a half-goal opportunity.
Yeah, lucky not to get a free, and I thought his hurley was being slightly held. Great hands in the air again, but you can see here, look, Aghabullogue have only 2 or 3 inside the opposition 45. They're really working hard to try and keep the game in play out here.
As this puck goes underneath us from Finbar Foley, a chance for Darren McCarthy to win possession, gets the break of the ball, walking through the lines, and here's Hallisey over the right hand shoulder, trying to turn it to the right hand side, but that wind held it out left and wide.
It did, yeah, and look, they're getting the ball to a certain point there, Óg, you know, to about the 45 yard, and the Aghabullogue defence, but they need to be a bit more clinical, especially into the wind. They need to get a couple of scores here on the board before half time.
Paul Ring getting that short puck out, sending it into the top of the left. Ian Barry Murphy trying to mark off John Mullins, but it's Mullins who has won the ball on that occasion. Plays it back to the keeper, Dylan Desmond. Good composure from the Eire Óg and UCC keeper. Here's Dermot Dineen from the 65. Switch the play. Sending it up the corner for Kieran Sheehan, who's been double marshalled. Great hit inside there from Niall Barry Murphy. But that ball has gone out from the stick of Barry Murphy, and a chance now for Kieran Sheehan inside the 13-metre line. Can you work something from the training park?
Hopefully. Look, that was I suppose Kieran was out in front over there, but it was right into the corner, you know. And I suppose the one thing that's evident is when the ball is going into the full forward line in Eire Óg for Lar Considine, for Kieran Sheehan, or for Daniel if he drifts in, that there doesn't seem to be much support coming back up. Aghabullogue are picking up a lot of the break, so if they're hitting the ball in, they need to get a bit of support up there to help him. Beautiful
sideline ball, but just whether he was playing it across or going for the score, Joe Cooper sending it across the face of goal, and that's Eire Óg's fourth wide in this game. And an Eire Óg substitution here. Fionn O'Rourke is coming on for Brian Corcoran. So, not the Brian Corcoran of Aaron's own, of course, but interesting going to meet up Shane Tarrant already.
And Eire Óg will be looking for the inspiration of a Brian Corcoran name in this performance.
Let's see what they can do over the next 35-40 minutes or so as that ball is walked down. Once again, Matthew Bradley winning another breaking ball under pressure. He pops the ball off to Rooney. Darren Rooney it is. He's inside the 13-metre line. Needs to flick the ball back outside. Does that, but couldn't be picked up by Bradley. Kicked away by John Cooper and picks up the crumbs himself as the Eire Óg centre back.
He does, and great covering there on Rooney as well. He got back on him and flicked the ball out.
Switch the play down towards this near sideline, and oh dear, Sean Fury was under pressure there, but there was a high hurley across the neck of Niall Barry Murphy, and there's going to be a noting, and it could be a bit further actually. It might be a yellow card given to Daniel Goulding.
Could be, yeah. Look, he fouled in the first couple of minutes, innocuous enough, but given the fact that it was a high and around the neck, he could be getting a yellow here.
Yeah, it'd be a yellow for dangerous.
Just the name.
Just give him the name actually. So.
But that was great covering there by Johnny Cooper in defence on Darren Rooney. You know, he was in and he was getting prepared to strike for goal, and he covered and they cleared it up the lines. But again, it kind of broke down here around the half forward line for them, so they need to get a bit more clinical there and get that ball up into hand quickly.
And of course they are trying to work it through the lines because they are playing against this wind. It's an opportunity here for Aghabullogue.
Shane Tarrant.
And a chance for Shane Tarrant from his own 45. He's got the distance by the looks of it. Is it? No. Great catch under the crossbar by Desmond.
Well tracked the whole way, and he covered it well and got it out to the sideline here. Again, nobody to play it to though. Eire Óg were covering the goal themselves. It's work back here to Paul Ring, I think, is it?
Yeah, Paul Ring outside from Dennehy. Ring with the shot, long raking ball, but going right and wide, and that'll go down as a missed chance for Aghabullogue to extend that lead.
It will. They picked up the loose ball over on the far sideline. He had no pressure on him, and he probably should have slotted it over.
Some confusion with the whistle, but John Cooper took the short puck out, sent it long to the corner. Here is Kieran Sheehan, bobbled the ball, but he's trying to take on his man off the left hand side from the Carlton star from the teens from many years ago, and a former Cork footballer who retired from the football panel, getting another score.
Yes, and look, it seems to be a thing they've worked on. Johnny Cooper has the ball into the far right hand corner for Kieran Sheehan to beat his man. He's on Aidan Barry Murphy, but again, look, if the ball broke down there, they had no support up for him. But Kieran Sheehan has 2 points to his name.
The first score for Eire Óg in 15 minutes. It's been a long time in the waiting, and can they conjure of another score? Joe Cooper's on a massive run. Heavy shoulder there from Paul Ring. Cooper trying to keep on going, but a great flick away from Sean Fury, and a free one there by Dennis Quinlan.
Yeah, look, and Eire Óg got 4 points down and going towards half time here. I think they'd be relatively happy the way the game has gone for them in terms of they're only 4 points down. They could have been a lot more, but again, they could have been closer with the penalty save. But Aghabullogue seemed to be that more bit composed here on the ball up the field.
So, sideline official over there, Joe Coppinger, just making sure that the free is taken from the correct position, and I wouldn't blame him because these players these days can get some great connections on the ball, and especially when you're playing with a strong breeze in this second half. Here is Tarrant. This now might be a small bit better. Give it that little bit percent extra, but probably that little bit too strong this occasion.
Too far, yeah. Look, the further back the field you go, I suppose your style and your substance goes. You try to hit the ball too hard. But Eire Óg, if they could get one more score here before half time, they'll be in a decent position.
Unfortunately, no. Not sure what the injury time is going to be, but play continues on. Chance for Dan O'Deneen to try and clear his lines, and it's going to be
well tracked back there on
free
Daniel
out.
Goulding. Dan O'Deneen, he covered Daniel Goulding. He was going to pick up the loose ball. He got the ball off and picked it up, won a free. And again, look, it's inside their own 45 here now, but I'd imagine they're going to try and play this one in.
Fourth official, Niall O'Neill, is just telling us there's 1 minute of additional time to be added on. Free taken by Niall Barry Murphy. Switch it to the far side. Can Aghabullogue get one more score? Well, this could be one from the training park from Matthew Bradley, and they've done that. A well-worked score from the training park.
Very good score here, and a very, very, very good ball hit over there by Niall Barry Murphy off to the far sideline. Matthew Bradley is after contributing 4 points here in this half. Himself, Shane Tarrant and Daniel Deneen are getting on the scoreboard well.
So the puck out from Desmond, which is likely to be the closing ventures of this opening half, or close to it. We're going to get one more phase of play before Brian Murphy's short whistle. Here is Sean Fury with possession, sending it to the top of the left, and good pace shown by Ian Barry Murphy. Slides onto the ball, but the Eire Óg man was first to it. That was John Cooper. Short ball to Darren McCarthy, and Brian Murphy blows the half-time whistle here in Cork IAHC for this Co-op Superstores Intermediate A Hurling Championship Final of 2020, the inaugural showing of this competition, and it is Aghabullogue who lead Eire Óg 12 points to 7 at half-time. Do stay tuned, we'll be back with you momentarily. An entertaining opening 30 minutes in this Cork Intermediate A Hurling Championship, as Aghabullogue are leading at half-time against Eire Óg 12 points to 7 in this must-read local derby. Tom Kenny is joining us on co-commentary this evening. Tom, a very entertaining opening 30 minutes.
Very entertaining, yeah. Look, we spoke about it before the game, Patrick, that we thought it might be a bit of an open game, and that's what's transpired. I suppose the wind is having a big effect on how Eire Óg had to play there in the first half. But at the first water break, it was 9 points to 6 to Aghabullogue, and Eire Óg only scored a point in the latter 16 minutes, you know. So Aghabullogue have kept the scoreboard ticking over. The penalty save, I suppose, could be a big moment in the game. And that was a great save by Finbar Foley, and they went down and scored, got a point. Then Aghabullogue got a point. They got 2 points actually. They won the puck out as well, and they got another point. So that was a big turnaround for them. But very entertaining game. I'd like to think that the Eire Óg boys would like to get a bit more out of themselves here, midfield, half forward, in terms of how to get the ball played. They'd probably look to play the ball in more to Kieran Sheehan and Lark Considine inside. But I suppose Lark Considine especially needs to take on his man a bit more, like Ian Barry Murphy is doing, like Matthew Bradley is doing, and like Dan O'Deneen are doing it for Aghabullogue.
Both teams went toe-to-toe in the opening 4 minutes, 2 points apiece. But like Aghabullogue then, say from the 5th minute out to the end of that water break, going 7 points to 4, which was a big difference closing out that water break. That's really the separating of the sides, albeit the penalty decision is in the mix of that as well.
It is. Looking up to the first water break, you know, it was thereabouts, you know, it was 7-5, 7-6. Then Aghabullogue got a strangling hold on the game. They went to 8-6, 9-6, and then the penalty save came in I think it was after the first water break, wasn't it? But Aghabullogue seemed to respond better. They got 3 scores. They limited Eire Óg to a point in that second 15 minutes. And they seem to be on top. They seem to be working very, very hard in their half-back line. But again, the conditions will dictate how the game is going to be played in the second half. It's going to be a different half now, this half for Aghabullogue. There'll be a lot more ball down the top of their defence, and I'd imagine there'll be even more space up here in the Eire Óg defence.
Yes, let's have a look at the 2 big decisions then of the opening half. We'll start off with the penalty decision itself. Is the penalty the right call, Tom?
It is. Daniel Goulding got out in front there, look, and I think it was Aidan Barry Murphy was kind of caught on the wrong side, and he couldn't do much apart from try to hold him up, and Daniel, being an experienced defender, knew what to do and knew how to win a penalty, and it was a penalty. It was clear cut in my mind. And let's see the strike here now.
And the penalty itself then from Hallisey, in fairness to Finbar Foley, he was actually walking left with the boss on his left hand side, and he struck it across.
He was like Bruce Grobler. He was dancing across the line. He was all the way over to his right. He was going over to his left, stopped at the last second, and look, you can even see when he saved it, the hurley was knocked out of his hand, and he actually didn't know where the ball went.
And he did well, even though going left, he did well to get the boss across to that far side.
And was it Colm O'Callaghan was coming in for the rebound there?
Yeah, and it was knocked away by the Aghabullogue defence. Yeah, knocked away there by
Barry
Barry
Murphy. Got in and got a great flick, and it was picked up there by Aidan Barry Murphy, I think, to clear it down the field, and they got a point out of it. So look,
that was a big 4-point run at that juncture.
It was. Look, great save. You could argue there was an element of fortune on it. If he had taken one more step to the left, there was a penalty on the other side. Kevin Hallisey would probably be a bit disappointed in the strike, in that it probably either wasn't a bit higher or a bit lower to get past the keeper.
Owen Shea is a big loss for Eire Óg in the middle of the field. I know they're without him with 5 weeks since the football final, but like you could just see the structure midfield. Ron O'Toole's doing fine, but if Owen was in there, they'd have a bit more structure to it.
He is a big loss. Look, and you could argue as well, look, that they played a football final, I suppose it's 2 months ago now, and you could say they're a small bit rusty here, but from reading up in their league games, they've picked it up again after that championship win, but I think just their handling out here around the middle of the field, they need to get it a bit more crisper. With the win now, obviously, if they can get space and get shots off, eat into this lead, bit by bit, they don't have to go for the juggler straight away, that they could find themselves back into the game very quickly.
And like, I think you've touched on it there with the league games. Obviously it's very hard to read because guys don't know what teams you're playing, but Aghabullogue's form, I suppose, isn't too bad, and they got to the league final, I think it was in Division 7 they were in, beaten by Russell Rovers, which is no bad, they beat Russell Rovers, which is no bad feat to get either.
No, and if you look at their scores in the league, Patrick, look, they clocked up 6-17, 1-14, 1-20, 18 points against Middleton, and 4-12 against Russell Rovers, so, and even though they didn't win the league, they'll be delighted that they got 5 good games there out of the league campaign, Aghabullogue or Eire Óg on the other side, they won 1 and lost 2, lost against Blackrock and Kilbrittain, beat Aghada, but at the same time, I suppose they clocked up 22 points against Aghada, they clocked up 17 points against Kilbrittain, so they'll need to get up around that range to have any say in this game when it edges towards the final whistle.
Obviously in the second half, benches are going to be crucial here, and as we look down through the 2 benches, we'll start with Aghabullogue, the likes of Luke Casey and John Buckley. Like, Casey got 2 goals late in the championship last year, Buckley got 2 points to his name, so benches now are going to be crucial in this second half for both sides.
Yeah, look, and Aghabullogue have seemed to use their bench over the course of the championship games, over their 2020 championship games, but at the moment, if you were to look out at the field, you'd say Aghabullogue, they're all putting their shoulder to the wheel and working hard and trying to do their bit for the team, but again, it's a modern game, benches, it's not a 15-man game, it's not who starts the game, it's who finishes and how well can we finish the game.
Tom Tarrant giving a stern instruction down underneath us to our left hand side to the Aghabullogue team. 15 men down there, and they're trying to drive in the instructions to keep on going. I suppose it's going to be hard now. This is where you're going to have to put the shoulder to the wheel, as you mentioned, for Aghabullogue, and playing against this wind in the second half.
Yeah, look, they've done the hard work in the first half, I suppose, right? They're 5 points up after playing with the wind, and they're working very, very hard. Hopefully they can take that form into the second half here and keep that momentum going. From an Eire Óg perspective, as I said, they need to up it a small bit. They need to up the ante. They need to up the urgency with the ball around the middle of the field. They're coping well in defence, but it'll be interesting to see how Aghabullogue played. They seem to play with 2 inside in the opposition forward line in the first half when they're against the wind. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I see Mark Sheehan down on the sideline there, I suppose, proud Aghabullogue man as well, so he'll be hoping to be
but he's wearing the neutral jersey.
He's wearing the neutral jersey. Yeah, he's even though he's a red tie on, but he's I suppose he'll be one of the first few trophies he'll be presenting in his chairmanship, so he'd be delighted to be presented to his own club.
Absolutely, he's already presented the Eire Óg with the Senior A Football Championship, of course, and earlier on the Junior Championship, and last weekend, of course, not agree with the Premier Intermediate Football Championship. So Mark has had a couple of busy months also with the inter-county teams as teams get ready to get back into action, and Finbar Foley heading down with no helmet on him, and we're just waiting for Slitters to come out in the field. Looks like no changes for this second half, Tom. So Is it a matter of Eire Óg trying to keep that 3-man full forward line and have confidence in what you're doing, or do you try and create space inside there?
I think their 3-man full forward line or whoever's in there seem to be getting out in front and getting that ball. It just needs to be out in the middle of the field, half forward line, half back line. Just a bit of urgency, quicker striking, faster striking, more efficiency. And then we're off.
The second half of the Co-op Superstores Cork Intermediate A Hurling Championship Final for 2020. The inaugural running of this competition is underway. First shot coming from Kieran Sheehan of Eire Óg. There's a tussle for the possession of the ball. Finbar Foley was first out to it. Didn't get the possession of it though. And he's still there with a fighting opportunity, Foley. He's been harried, hassled. There's a hook inside there from Sheehan as well. Foley dying with his boots on inside in the bottom of that ruck. Also inside there, Eire Óg's corner forward, Daniel Goulding. But now it is Aghabullogue who are going to try and clear it away. Paul Ring with a great sidestep as well. Pops the ball outside and cleared by Jerome Corkery to the corner forward position. In fact, it was Sean Fury it was.
Small bit of a late block there by Ronan O'Toole, but I don't think there was much in it after. But look, even you can see there in the first 60 seconds, there's a bit more urgency about Eire Óg and the ruck here down in the Aghabullogue goal line. Even though Aghabullogue came out with it, the Eire Óg seemed to be up for the fight a bit more.
So it's going to be a sideline ball. As the referee, Tom Tarrant, not too impressed with the sideline official on that occasion. Sean Fury just running away from the scene of the crime. And it is an opportunity here for Ian Barry Murphy to try and tack on a further score. He's already got 2 points to his name in the opening 6 minutes. And the Aghabullogue captain, beautiful cut. Is this going in and over the bar? It's not. Just shapes left and wide.
Dylan Desmond was shaking the post there. I think years of experience there. But again, look, Eire Óg
How can you do that anymore?
He got away with it anyway. Kieran Sheehan got out in front here for the ball again. But look, I think they need to get a bit more support up with Kieran. And if he gets the ball, have some runners off him and a bit of speed to get past the rest of the back line.
Puck out from Dylan Desmond, and you can see now these puck outs are starting to go very long. And the breaking ball to Colm O'Callaghan, and O'Callaghan looking for the first score of the second half, and does that in the Eire Óg jersey.
Much better, and you could see there, look, a totally different way the game is played. Colm O'Callaghan got it first option, take your point, whereas in the first half he had to run with that ball because it was into the wind.
It's like something that he done last year for you in the UCC in the semi-final. His puck outs can go a long way down the field.
They can, and Colm will be his first target, I'd imagine, for the second half.
Puck
Here
out.
he is again, Colm O'Callaghan.
He does. He wins the breaking ball from the Finbar Foley puck out, pops the ball over towards that far side. A chance for Kevin Hallisey, the joint captain, to get in on the act. Just trails to the left-hand side.
Wide. And even, look, I thought Colm could have taken on the shot there himself after getting 130 seconds earlier. His confidence is up.
So it's another chance for Aghabullogue to try and set up a shot. There's a man on the floor over there, obviously cramping and under pressure.
Looks like
Daniel Goulding, I think, is it?
Lar Considine, I'd say, is it? But look, Colm O'Callaghan there picked up a great ball in the middle of the field. Kevin Hallisey made a great run up to his left, but I thought he could have taken a shot himself and get another score on the board for Eire Óg.
So obviously the spectators thought that the man was down for a pull across, but he wasn't. It was Lar Considine, who scored 2 goals and 5 points against Douglas in their round robin series.
He hasn't seemed to get into the game at the moment tonight, you know. The rest of the forward line have scored so far. Lar hasn't scored anything yet. He looks like a bit of cramp maybe. Don't
forget, if you want some reaction to the Cork Junior A Hurling Championship Final a little bit earlier on, check out irishexaminer.com/sport. There's a report and some reaction there from Liz Gould captain John Cronin, some inspirational words from John Cronin as well, some interesting insights with our very own Therese O'Callaghan, as there's a substitution here for Eire Óg, and Brian Hurley is coming into the play instead of Lar Considine. Bit of a loss here now, Tom.
Bit of a loss, yeah. Look, you could see Dr. Johnny Crowley when he was out there. He looked concerned straight away, and he made the decision quick enough. But look, it's not cramp, so he must have pulled a calf muscle or something like that. But yeah, bit of a loss given the scoring rate that he's had in the championship so far. So
he's carried off by Dr. Johnny Crowley and the physio Brian O'Connell. Of course, the Eire Óg backroom team: Donald Hurley, Niall O'Halloran, John Doherty, Kevin Murray, of course, and John Malone. Involved in the Eire Óg backroom team as the Aghabullogue keeper. Finbar Foley pucks out the ball over towards that far side. And again, it's Aghabullogue who've won the breaking ball on this occasion, played long inside. Here is Ian Barry Murphy. Didn't get a touch to it, but did enough just to flick the ball past, but threw his body on the line and The Eire Óg man did well. Ronan O'Toole pops the ball over towards that far side. Is there an opportunity? Well, the question was the man held there? Dermot O'Hurley. But a chance now for Eire Óg to try and break out once again. John Cooper from his own 45, 50-50 ball.
Unlucky
as
to get
the man
it.
got taken out in the air. Well, the Aghabullogue man
Joe
took himself
Cooper.
out of it, and a chance now for Joe Cooper. He's showed a clean pair of heels. He's in on goal as the Eire Óg wing forward drops the ball. Drop shot saved by Finbar Foley, and it's going to be cleared out here by the Aghabullogue defence. Although that might be a charging call, correct call. It's a free in for Eire Óg. Absolutely,
Yeah.
100% spot on.
Great run there by Joe Cooper. I think Paul Ring did very, very well to track his run and to prevent him get a shot from his hands. He kind of had to drop shot the ball. That kind of the strength and power of the shot went in, but great save by Finbar Foley. Bit of barging coming up, but
Joe Cooper with a great shot, drop shot, but super save, well met there by Finbar Foley, but it was a sloppy challenge
led with his
out
elbow, I
by
suppose, yeah.
Sean O'Connell. He actually needs to be careful now because he is on a yellow card. I think it was Sean O'Connell anyway.
he led with his elbow coming out against substitute Brian Hurley there, so yeah, free and correct decision. Good hook there by Paul Ring on Joe Cooper.
Yeah, so it's a chance now for Eire Óg.
And look,
Dr.
Kevin
Johnny
Halley,
Crowley is busy again.
he's in out, yeah, his shorts are looking lovely there, Patrick. Chance for Kevin Halliday here. Look, he's missed a penalty, he missed a pre from open play, or missed a shot from open play, so look, that one just crept over the bar, but hopefully that'll get him back in the game again.
Well, they are back in the game, I can tell you, Tom, because there's only 3 in the difference now. And it's a big difference to what was happened at the water at half time, as the
Substitute coming on here for
Aghabullogue men are looking for a substitution. Not sure if the numbers are already in there. They don't have numbers, but they have one now. And Darren Rooney is making his way off for Luke Casey. I mentioned about Casey there a while ago. Scored 2 goals late in the championship last year. And Casey goes straight in centre forward. Rooney getting the fist pump from Tom Tarrant and his backroom team from Aghabullogue. As this ball is broken down, Colin O'Callaghan. Well, there was a late hurley across the helmet of Paddy Toomey,
yeah.
accidental.
Accidental, I think, yeah. Free in the middle of the field. Big free here now for Shane Tarrant. He nailed one in the first half out by the far 65 here. He's on 65 into the wind. Big one to get Aghabullogue back in the game.
The breeze up here doesn't seem to be as strong, but as we look to the flags down on the field.
Yeah, they're blowing strong there at the Blackrock end.
So a chance for Shane Tarrant to get Aghabullogue's first score in the second half. They badly need it. They haven't got it. They have not scored in the second half yet.
No, and you can see the difference there now straight away. You know, they were clean, crisp, striking in the first half with their scores, but they're forcing it a bit more into the wind, and that just tailed wide.
Puck out from Desmond going long inside the
Good hands by
45.
Kevin
Great
Halliday.
catch by Halliday. Halliday's going to pop the ball over the top. There could be an opportunity for score if they can get their hands on the ball, but Daniel Goulding wasn't the first to it, and it's an opportunity for Aghabullogue to try and clear their lines through Sean O'Connell.
Very tenacious defending there by Aghabullogue to clear their lines.
Matthew Bradley trying to get away, and Bradley has won a free, and Donald Hurley is absolutely livid on the line down there. And Brian Connery is just telling him to go back inside the line side. That wasn't Donald Hurley, it's one of the backroom team, should be excused. The Aghabullogue free taken quickly. Dan O'Deneen pops the ball off to Sean Fury. Fury looking to try and get himself on the score sheet, and he does, and that is the score Aghabullogue needed to get themselves up and running for the second half.
A great score, probably lucky in that he got away with a few steps there with the ball in hand, but look, Dan O'Deneen picked up a loose ball here. The Eire Óg had cut out the sideline, or the free ball here, if we see it in the replay. So it's a drop ball here.
Yeah, he pops the ball outside, and Fury was
Fury
coming down
gets
the
in
right
here,
side.
gets away with a few steps here, I think. Yeah, but he got a great score.
So back out to 4 points in favour of the north sider of the lead down at the bridge.
Kieran
But a
Sheehan
chance
has
here
it
now,
here.
and Kieran Sheehan trying to break off, going into goal, pops the ball off. Is there an opportunity for score? Has to walk it over towards that far side. Goulding, is he over there? Well, he is, but he's forced outside to Halliday, and Halliday converts the points.
Yeah, look, there was a goal chance on there, but between the experience of Kieran Sheehan and Daniel Goulding, they kept the ball alive and got a point out of it. 3-point game. They're cutting the deficit slowly but surely.
So back down to 3 points we go once again. It was 5 at half time as we are in the 10th minute of this Co-op Superstores Cork Intermediate A Hurling Championship Final. Puck out down to this near side, broken down by John Cooper. Popped out by Joe Cooper and walked across to Kevin Hallisey over towards the top of the left. Run made over there by Daniel Goulding, turns back on the right hand side. Was his hand being held? No, says our referee. Play continues on. Ball goes in, but going to the right hand side and wide.
And Eire Óg are keeping Daniel Goulding and Kieran Sheehan close to goal now, so they're recognising at least that with the experience of those two players in there, if they get the ball into there, they'll get some rewards out of them.
Foley with the puck out down towards this near sideline. Just touched there by Dan O'Dineen. Ball kept in though by Paddy Toomey. Did well just to flick it on. Here's the Jewel star, Dan O'Dineen, switching the play over towards that far side. And now Aghabullogue with an opportunity. Oh, left the ball behind them.
I think he was taking a shot on goal before he even got the ball there that time.
Ball worked over towards that far side. He's got back though, in fairness to him, has looks like Paddy Toomey over that far side. There's a chance here, trying to walk it through as Paul Ring, but he's been turned over. Two Aghabullogue men taking each other out. There's a bit of afters down there as well. We're going to keep an eye on the play. Play continues on. Is this Kieran Sheehan? Sheehan looking for the score. Sheehan's got the score. Massive score it is.
Yeah, great score there. Look, it could have went from a position of Aghabullogue bearing down on goal. Missed pick, worked it down the field, and again, Kieran Sheehan has got a great score there.
Some concern now once again. Niall Barry Murphy obviously cramping up down below. Referee saying, come on, let's go, let's keep going. But Daniel Goulding, for all the fitness he might have, he has to give a chance. These aren't inter-county players.
I think he's questioning whether Aghabullogue are trying to take a few seconds in the clock here. But look, Aghabullogue are chipping away at the lead. They're down to 2 points. Eire Óg are chipping away at the lead. They're down to 2 points. And Aghabullogue have only 1 point, I think, here in the second half so far.
A quick check of the ankles there by the Aghabullogue doctor.
Seems to be running away fine.
Gets the magic bottle of water, a swig of it. As there's
the Eire Óg crowd aren't too happy with that.
There's 500 referees over on that far side, but only one counts, so he's wearing the black in the middle. Eire Óg winning the puck out once again, and John Cooper forward with a high hurley, and now Eire Óg are in the middle of a purple patch.
They are, their tails are up, but look what they're bringing to the game now in this first 10 minutes of the second half was lacking in the first half. They have real intensity here, and they're in the middle third of the pitch. Kevin Hallisey is on the ball. He's had 3 points already, 2 from frees. He's got his eye back in after the penalty and the 1 from play, so he'll be looking to slot this over the bar.
So Hallisey just outside his 65 metre line with the aid of a strong breeze into the Blackrock end, splits those uprights, and now all of a sudden, for the first time since how long ago? Well, it's since the 5th minute, the margin is down to 1.
Yeah, look, and Eire Óg are in the ascendancy. Aghabullogue are struggling to reproduce the form of the first half. They'll be looking to get to the first water break here and try and regroup. 13
points at 12. Paul Ring now winning the breaking ball over on that far side, sends it short. Matthew Bradley, heavy hitting Bradley. Play continues on. It was quite square. Ball's walked inside towards the full forward line, and Aghabullogue now looking. Maybe they're trying to go for goal themselves, or going in. Iron goal, shot in,
great save.
Saved. Great save by Dylan Desmond, and it's a chance for Ian Barry Murphy. Works the ball outside to Michael Dennehy. Dennehy just pops the ball over the top, and great score from Dennehy. Good composure showed by the Aghabullogue midfielder.
Yeah, great score to get there after that save by Dylan Desmond. You know, to work the ball back out and to get a point. Eire Óg were probably a small bit lucky. I thought there was a late tackle there, Matthew Bradley over on the far sideline, but that was an important score for Aghabullogue to get a point.
So substitution for Aghabullogue. And Dennehy, that's after scoring that point, he's getting substituted after great work. Sean O'Sullivan coming in for his place.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He just got a great point, and even running back out the field, you could see that he was a bit more confident in himself.
Sean Sullivan into the fray as the puck out from Desmond down to this near side, tripping the legs there. Well, referee says there was a man ended up on the floor, and Joe Cooper's been pinned for a tangle of legs.
Exciting second half here now so far, Patrick. 2 points in the game.
Well, this is the inaugural competition, and there's a big prize at stake here, Tom, because the winners will, as I mentioned a little bit earlier on, go into Group A along with Carrigaline, Courses and Youghal. So a lot at stake for both clubs, and especially when it's a local derby, neighbouring parishes, it means a lot as well, Tom.
Yeah, look, and they'll be disappointed there with that ball there by Niall Barry Murphy up into the far corner to who was coming out for it there? Matthew Bradley. They'll be disappointed, a wasted chance to get something on the board again.
Coming out to the closure of this third quarter, Aghabullogue did have a margin of 5. It's down to 2. And this possibly the last phase of this third quarter. John Cooper with the sideline ball. beautiful cut going towards the Eire Óg half-forward line, and a chance now for Kieran Sheehan, where he just pops the ball outside, and coming on like a train was Colm O'Callaghan. He's in on goal. O'Callaghan with the shot across the face of goal to the right hand side. Well, there was a free coming in.
There was a ball played into Kieran Sheehan there. You could see Colm O'Callaghan. He looped his run. He kept going. The ball played off Kieran Sheehan. I thought he might pass across to Daniel Goulding on the far side and hand pass, but I'm not sure what the free is for.
Well, there's a man taken out of it late, but it looks like Colm O'Callaghan was going in on goal. It could be a careless use of the hurley as well. Tap at the hurley, I would suggest, on the hurley of Colm O'Callaghan. And it's an opportunity here for Kevin Hallisey to try and reduce the margin back down to 1 on the stroke of the water break. And Hallisey converts that. He blazes it out nearly up to the Chill Insurance sign on the far side. And all of a sudden, Eire Óg were up by 5. They only lead, or they were down by 5, I should say. They're now only down to 1 point.
Yeah, 6 points to 2 win there in the first quarter there for Eire Óg. Big moment, and great save by Dylan Desmond down here for Eire Óg. Could be a turning point for them after the penalty, but yeah, Eire Óg are in the ascendancy.
Let's have a look at the 2 bits and pieces we want to have a look at here, the 2 clips. Joe Cooper's run from the middle of the field first up with a great save at the end.
Yeah, you can see Paul Ring tracking him here. Look, he's trying to get a hook. He makes him drop hit the ball. Finbar Foley, great save.
Yeah, and there was a free one.
There was a free in there for
a charge.
For Barting, yeah.
And down at the other end, then Aghabullogue with an opportunity of their own as well for a goal.
Yeah, I think it's Ian Barry Murphy, is it?
Well, Ian Barry Murphy's at the end of it. Possibly Shane Tarrant might have been a great save. In fact, it was actually Luke Casey.
Luke Casey, yeah.
Who it was. But great save there by Dylan Desmond. Man you know very well.
Yeah, look, great run there. Great save by Dylan Desmond. It was probably on his good side. Done well so far. His use of the ball so far and puckouts has been fantastic, and that'll really keep his eye in the game.
So, you're in the shoes of Donal Hurley, the Eire Óg manager. They're inside there trying to urge their men on to give it one more lash. What's the encouragement here?
More of the same. They probably spoke about it at half time, Patrick, in what they wanted to bring to the game, and they've brought it to the second half, and that's what they need to bring. They have the aid of the wind. You can see Dylan Desmond there. He's really trying to get back to that goal pretty quickly, and I think Eire Óg want this game to start again and to keep going.
And as for Aghabullogue, I know they're playing against the wind, but they're doing things right, just walking short up through the lines, and it seems to be working for them. They had that goal opportunity moments ago.
Yeah, look, I think Dan O'Danini's been well tracked, Matthew Bradley has been well tracked, and Shane Tarrant has been well tracked in the second half. They probably need to get those 3 players into the game a bit more, even if they had to bring them out to midfield. Eire Óg are in here in the middle of the field, there's nobody marking him, so where's the Aghabullogue fella?
Well, I think he's just trying to win the puck out, and Aghabullogue trying to find spaces.
And he's covering the space here now.
Foley with the resumption of this final quarter of this Cork Intermediate A Hurling Championship final for 2020. The inaugural lifting of the cup and a prize at stake to go in, and a free one in there. Well, Tom, you mentioned about an inspirational like Brian Corcoran. Well, is he stepping up to the plate?
He won it there, and that's what they're bringing to the table in the second half. They're bringing that intensity and that willingness to win in the rucks. That wasn't there in the first half, and you can even see when they won it, Brian Corcoran there was fists in the air. Aghabullogue were questioning it, but it was a free, and they seem to be getting run the mill. Kevin Hallisey here on the ball again.
Hallisey looking to try and get another score to his name. Already has 5 points to his name in this final. It's going to drop in short into the chest of Finbar Foley, who's dealt with it very well. Over towards that far side is Colm O'Callaghan, though, being closely marshalled by his football compatriot Paul Ring. The Eire Óg man just pops the ball outside and spilt lines, but O'Callaghan got in there in the again, but so did Ring to dispossess him. And Paul Ring looking to just trying to pop the ball up towards Sean Fury, keeps it ahead of him. And that's the main thing for Aghabullogue if they're going to win this game, to try and keep that ball alive at all costs.
And Luke Casey's on the ball here again, Patrick.
2 goals to his name in this championship. Long ball going in. What a score from Luke Casey!
He's looked lively since he came on. The run for the goal chance in the first quarter in the second half, and he got a great score there off his left side up at the far sideline.
Super start from the Aghabullogue wing forward.
And a big puck out here.
Here's Dylan Desmond switching it over towards that far side. The ball's going to break down. Is there an opportunity for goal? Walked over towards Goulding. Goulding with a shot. Back to the net for Eire Óg. And the first time in this game they take the lead with 47 minutes gone on the clock.
Huge puck up by Dylan Desmond down in the edge of the D. I think it was the substitute. Brian Hurley picked it up, ran on and passed it off to Daniel Goulding. Great goal.
Brian Hurley orchestrating that goal and buried to the back of the net by Goulding. Well, it's a big storyline now, and now the character of Aghabullogue is going to have to be shown as this puck out is sent over towards that far side, and a free out for a push to back by Sean Fury.
Yeah, and everything seems to be going Eire Óg's way out at the moment. Picking up breaking ball, winning frees.
And a chance now for Eire Óg to try and clear their lines.
I think it was a pass off the stick of Brian Hurley, the substitute, was it?
Yeah.
Great pass
Over
out to Daniel
towards
Goulding,
Daniel
right into his
Goulding.
hand, and he was able to stick it without moving a foot.
So
And I'd say Dylan Desmond is going to line this up for a score.
Well, he did get 2 frees against SARS in that semi-final. He missed a penalty in the penalty shootout, but did save 2 further penalties. It's a long ball from Desmond in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, got a touch in it. Finbar Foley was fouled inside in the 6-yard box. Good keeping by the Aghabullogue
Very
man.
good. He's been performing well all night. Very composed, very assured in there in the goal. Won his free, and here we go again.
So the free from Finbar Foley. Well, it's all 50-50 balls so far, and Eire Óg have been winning most of those 50-50s, but Aghabullogue, and in fairness to Matthew Bradley, he's nearly covered every blade of grass in Páirc Uí Chaoimh.
Yeah, and he wanted to take the free there, but I think Shane Tarrant took it off him.
Shane
But
Tarrant.
they need to get going again in the game, the two of them. They need to get going.
Well, I was wondering about the ball from Tarrant. Was he doing the right thing? Plays it out to Casey, pops the ball over the top. Here is Sean Sullivan, looking to try and walk
Man
the ball.
inside.
Man after goes to the inside. Inside is Paddy Toomey. Toomey with the shot. Straight at keeper though. Dylan Desmond dealt with it very well. And a chance for Eire Óg to clear their lines. And here is John Cooper as the lights here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh start to get switched on. Who's going to get caught in the headlights, or who's going to be shining under the lights at the end of this intermediate A hurling final in Cork? Here's Niall Barry Murphy switching the play over towards the top of the right, and running over there is Matthew Bradley. Does well to keep it in from going out, but he's beaten for pace over in the top of the left, and a chance for Dermot O'Hurley just to try and settle things. Plays it back to Desmond. Desmond winds up, buries it, switch the play over towards this right hand side. Heavy shot there on Sean Sullivan. That was
Came
a sloppy climb there by Kieran Sheehan. Took the man out. It was like he was going for an Australian rules catch.
He was going for the mark. I think Paddy Toomey probably should have taken a point down here to get Aghabullogue back in the game and to level it. Dylan Desmond came off his line. It was more or less straight at him, but he should have taken a point, get the game level, 10 minutes left.
So Shane Tarrant looking to try and level up this game with 10 minutes. It's a big ask against a strong breeze from his own 65. Well, he's got the distance. Has he the accuracy? Has he what? Has he what?
Great strike to get them back in the game. Level pegging going down the home straight here. Great finish in store.
Level once again. We've 9.5 minutes left as there's another substitution coming the way of Aghabullogue.
John Buckley
it is who is coming in. It looks like Paddy Toomey is possibly the man. It is Paddy Toomey going to be taken off, so
yeah, probably look unlucky there if he got that point there. Probably could have seen more game time.
So that Aghabullogue substitution be confirmed by our PA announcer Peter Dennehy down beneath us in the south stand. This ball is landed on short, and well,
I thought he got his hand under that. I thought he got his hand under it.
Well, it'll be interesting to see the replay later on, but
and if it wasn't a free, he was in and goal for a score.
So it's another opportunity for Aghabullogue maybe to retake the lead. Niall Barry Murphy now playing the ball long into the corners. This is the substitute just come on with a great block inside there by Dermot Dineen. It's going to be well, I thought it went out for a 65, Tom.
He got a block down on him there. It looked like a 65. I don't see how it could have ricocheted back off Johnny Buckley's hurley and gone 40 yards out over the end line.
Well, that might be a call that could be costly at the end, but we're going to have to leave it play, continue on. Chance here for Ronan O'Toole, pops the ball off. This is like Conor McGoldrick.
Oh no, call it back.
It's knocked out.
Oh, for 65 by
Conor McGoldrick.
You're right. So he seems to be playing up the field a bit more.
His uncle Brian Lohan never done that.
No. No, but I think he'll be out the field, and even the experience he's gained from playing under 20 and football and things like that will be crucial to Eire Óg here in the middle of the field.
That's a crucial junction now where at one end 65 possibly should have been given for the deflection out, and now it's a 65 yet again.
And you could argue the free on Colin Mulcahy here as well, you know.
That could be a crucial moment we might have to look at back after the game. Well, here's Kevin Hallisey to retake the lead from an Eire Óg point of view as they still seek the double. And they have got part 1 complete. Are they on their way to part 2?
It's looking like that at the moment. They're in the ascendancy, 114 to 16 points, and they've turned around the half-time score, 5 points down, now a point up.
Puck out from Finbar Foley down to this near side. And taking over there, well, not taking over, Sean Sullivan was dispossessed, and there's an opportunity. Man going to be buried there. He missed it.
Conor McGoldrick
has been moving forward. McGoldrick shortens the stick. Great hook there by Fury. But McGoldrick has picked up the crumbs once again. Pops the ball outside. Kieran Sheehan going for a cute angle score. This would be ridiculous if he gets it. Yeah, it's a bit too ridiculous. He was going right and wide.
It was a bit tight now, in fairness. If it was in the Aussie rules, he would have got a minor.
He would have got a minor. It would have been a 1 point behind in the Australian football. Great mention to Callum Brown of Derry, who debuted over the weekend for the GWS Giants. Puck out down to the centre of the park, a big ruck. Who's going to win this one? It's Eire Óg and Joe Cooper. The Coopers have been outstanding for Eire Óg in this game. A great hook, great pressure inside there though by Sean O'Connell to dispossess, and that ball has gone out over the line for a wide ball.
Yeah, vital pressure there by Sean O'Connell to get a hook and to see the ball wide through the hook. Aghabullogue just need to get up the field and get parity, I think,
Finbar Foley with a further puck out. In the final 6 minutes of this Intermediate A final, ball's pucked down to Sean Fury. Fury with time and space as the sun sets over the south side of the Lee here in Cork City. And a chance for Ian Barry Murphy. Is he going to take his man on? He is. He goes along by the byline. The captain from Aghabullogue. Is he going to get a goal for Aghabullogue? He is! Buried to the back of the net. And a chance now. Are Aghabullogue on their way? They lead by 2 points in the final 5 minutes.
Yeah, look, you talk about going for the killer instinct and going for the goal. He had got inside John Mullins there and he was going to take his point, but he cut in and he had to do a bit more work when he got in and slipped it inside Dylan Desmond for a goal.
Beautifully constructed score from Aghabullogue, and now they take the lead by 2 once again. Quick puck out to Dylan Desmond out towards Darragh McCarthy. There was a hook inside there. It's gone over towards that far side. Eire Óg, they've got an opportunity to score themselves. The ball over the top towards Kieran Sheehan. Pops the ball outside out towards the substitute. Was a shot into the back of the net from deflection. Brian Cochran. It was Brian Cochran-esque. And Finbar Foley, in fairness to Foley, very unlucky off the hurley.
And you can't say it was a mistake on Finbar Foley's part. He made a great save and the power in the shot just deflected it into the back of the net. So here we are again, Eire Óg up a point.
Well, what an entertaining closing. 5 minutes left in this Intermediate A final. 2 goals inside a minute. And now it's Eire Óg who lead once again, 2-14 to 116. Short line ball taken to Shane Tarrant. Here's Niall Barry Murphy. Long ball. The wind is going to hold it up. It's going to the edge of the square. Dylan Desmond's inside there. Eire Óg going to try and clear their lines. Well, they're trying to do so. There's a hand on the back. A soft free to give away.
Going back to the Eire Óg goal there. Look, great experience by Kevin Hallisey to bring the ball along the inline. Crossed it over to Kieran Sheehan, who fed it off to Brian Cochran, and a fantastic finish.
To be fair, it was probably straight at Finbar Foley, but Foley was just unlucky. Just caught it off the side of the hurley into the side net
and
in the inside. So another substitution coming here. Substitution bench hasn't been overly free. John Callagher, the joint captain, coming in. And referee says, no, we're not ready yet, so we're going to hold on. Dylan Desmond with the free for Eire Óg. It's Eire Óg by 1 in this intermediate final. Long ball cleared out from Aghabullogue over towards that far side. Chances for Casey. Casey's trying to get it. Great block. It's going to work inside, but good defence by John Mullins. Was crucial in their Senior A Football Championship victory, and Eire Óg have cleared their lines. Here's Colm O'Callaghan in the centre of the park. There was a loose hurley inside there, but O'Callaghan did very well. Pops the ball outside out towards Brian Cochran, who got that goal moments ago. Cochran under pressure from 2 Aghabullogue defenders though. Bit of a ruck inside the centre of the park. Ball's been still working out. Doing well to keep it in was John Buckley in towards Eire Óg territory, but Eire Óg now needed to deal with it. Here's Conor McGoldrick under pressure. Deals with it well. Plays it down towards the full back line.
Shane Tarrant back there winning it.
Yeah, he's done very well, Shane Tarrant, in this game, to be fair. And the ball's walked up to the corner to Ian Barry Murphy. Murphy switched the play, looking for Casey. They're going for goal. Aghabullogue on goal again. Casey with a chance. Is he hooked inside there? Was there a pull? Referee says play on.
I don't think so. I don't think it was a foul. I probably should have taken a point to get him back parity.
Hallisey clears the lines on the far side. We're 1-1 up at the other end in an entertaining end-to-end, coast-to-coast game. Chance for Daniel Goulding. Kieran Sheehan's inside there. He's fell to the floor. Pops the ball outside to Colm O'Callaghan, and Callan should convert this, and does.
Colm O'Callaghan should have converted. Casey probably should have taken his point there. He was going for the killer instinct, but just to get back level and get back a drawn game.
So John Mullins is being replaced by John Kelleher now, being confirmed. 2 minutes left in the clock, Tom. 2 points in it.
Yeah, look, and I think Aghabullogue need to get the ball to Luke Casey and Ian Barry Murphy and get the legs and get the speed, but they need to get a couple of points just to keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Great fielding catch from Sean O'Sullivan. Aghabullogue playing 4 men inside the full forward line. Here is Ian Barry Murphy off the left hand side. It's going to land short though. And Dylan Desmond picks up the pieces, sending it over towards that far side. There was a bit of a one-on-one high hurley there by Paul Ring on John Cooper, and that's a free out for Eire Óg.
Yeah, and look, Aghabullogue could probably be disappointed there the last couple of minutes. Ian Barry Murphy had done the hard work there and got out in front of the substitute John Kelleher, and he had the chance to take him on, narrow the angle a small bit for himself and to tip it over the bar.
It was an opportunity. Aghabullogue have had opportunities to level up this game.
They have. And look, you can't fault, I suppose, Luke Casey trying to go for the juggler. I suppose it was there for him, but again, a bit more experience like we saw down here when you need to take the right score at the right time.
Dylan Desmond with the free from his own 45. It's been kept in there as a chance. Eire Óg are still in there with an opportunity. O'Callaghan Tobble pulling on it. Here's Goulding.
Great block
though. And Eire Óg still with a second opportunity. Hallisey, it might have been with the shot. It's gone in and over the bar one way or the other. It is Kevin Hallisey.
Hallisey's 7 point from play, 7 point in the game, 5 from frees, I think.
So there's a full score on it now, Tom. 116 plays 216.
116 plays 216. Down 5 points at half time, winning up by 3. So that was a big turnaround by Eire Óg. But again, Kevin Hallisey, Daniel Goulding, Kieran Sheehan have all done very, very well in here in the second half.
Sideline ball from Paul Ring, beautifully cut in towards the centre of the park. First to it though was a Eire Óg man with only 2 minutes of injury time. 2 minutes of injury time being awarded. I would have thought it'd be more because there was 5 substitutions there in that half.
There was.
Anyway, it's at the discretion of the referee, Brian Murphy. And the Carry Toolman says there's a free for Aghabullogue. Another opportunity. What do you do here, Tom? Do you go for the score, get your point, or do you go for goal?
I think they'll probably have to. There's 2 minutes left. Take their point, take their chances of winning the puck out. But given the strength of Dylan Desmond's puck outs, winning that puck out is going to be down in front of their own goal, I'd imagine.
So Shane Tarrant with the chance in the centre of the...
He doesn't like it.
Well, he goes all the way in and over the bar.
It's over the bar.
Over. So 216 plays 117. Great score from Shane Tarrant in the middle of the field.
Awkward lead, 2 points going down the home stretch in a game when it left. Aghabullogue will be probably looking to win this ball down in front of their own goal, and here it goes.
Puck off from Desmond over towards that far side, looking for
big
Goulding.
Catch for Colm O'Callaghan.
What a catch from Colm O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan, it's a great tackle. It's a super tackle from the Aghabullogue man. As a man taking out of it high there on that occasion. Dano Deneen it was, and it's a chance for Aghabullogue to try and clear their lines. Deneen's going to be under some pressure.
Yeah, and look, it was a head tackle. The referee seems to be walking away from the free out. If that was earlier in the game, he'd be asking questions as to what should be shown.
Niall Barry Murphy clearing the lines. They need another quick score if they can get it. But on this occasion, it's Eire Óg who have won it through Darragh McCarthy. And McCarthy pops that ball back to John Cooper. Two games at centre back for John Cooper. Full back, or centre back in football, centre back in hurling. He's been absolutely brilliant for Eire Óg. Snapshot around the body from Brian Hurley. Over to space to that far side. And it is Daniel Goulding once again. Goulding turning his man from a short angle. He's going in for the shot, but goes wasteful to the wider side and wide.
15 seconds left. This is their chance.
One opportunity it is left in it. Can Eire Óg hold out? Or Aghabullogue going to pull off a famous win? And he's blown it. He's blown it inside the 2 minutes. One way or the other, it's all over. It is all over, and Eire Óg have done the famous double. They're into the Premier Senior Football Championship, and they're up into the third grade of hurling, into the Cork Premier Intermediate Hurling Championship for 2021, where they will join Carrigaline, Courses and Youghal. They've defeated Aghabullogue 216 to 117.
Big second half from Eire Óg, Patrick. They scored two 2-9 in that second half, 2 great goals. Dylan Desmond made 2 fantastic saves. Aghabullogue will be disappointed in that how they saw out the game, I suppose, in the second half. They had a few chances to get parity, to get level, but on the balance of play as the second half went on, I think Eire Óg were deserving winners.
Aghabullogue will be frustrated and just a bit, I don't know, what would you say, Tom, because they had chances to get scores. There was 2 goal opportunities, one saved by Luke Casey down below here to our left side as well.
And lucky, and Barry Murphy got a ball here, and I suppose experience, he had got the ball out in front of his man, he had sold the dummy, he had the space to run into, and he probably should have taken on to get an easier angle on the score, you know. But you can't say that Aghabullogue's performance fell away in the second half. It was more a case of Eire Óg picking up their performance from the first half, because they weren't really at the races in the first half in terms of intensity and fighting for that ball.
Well, it is Eire Óg who claim top honours in the local derby. Local bragging rights of the bridge belong to Eire Óg. And let's have a look at some of those important pieces of analysis in the second half. And the first piece here, Tom, it was a goal opportunity for Colm O'Callaghan, who popped it out to Daniel Goulding and it buried to the back top corner of the net by Goulding.
Yeah, I think it was one of the substitutes. It was actually Patrick Brian Hurley. If you see here, look, he squared up his run to run. The defender was stuck, he couldn't do anything. A great finish by Daniel Goulding there from a very, very tight angle. But he was the right man that you wanted at the end of that passage of play.
Yeah, it was a crucial juncture in the game when he scored that goal in the just after the water break in the 48th minute at that juncture. Another piece of analysis we're going to have a look at, Tom. The next piece, when we get it up here in front of us, will be another crucial score that was an opportunistic move, or the 65 actually. Well,
we'll have to see it again in slow-mo.
Yeah, well,
or in some kind of replay.
But in fairness, I think Diarmuid Dineen definitely got a flick of the hurley on John Buckley. It looks like he's gone for a 65.
Yeah, really. And,
you know,
and I suppose they went down the field then and won a 65 and converted it, you know, so that's a 2-point swing there that would have drawn the game, I suppose.
And Aghabullogue would have been drawing the game, but instead Eire Óg went up 2 points. Crucial juncture at that stoppage of play. As we look out in front of us, and Eire Óg in absolute delight and delirium. All the fans out in force, and a famous double. Let's move on to our third piece of footage that we have, and it was a switch ball over towards that far side for Ian Barry Murphy. He went in by the byline, Tom.
Got inside John Mullins. He's still a lot of work to do here with the covering defender, but a great goal.
It was a well-worked score by the Aghabullogue captain, who could be proud of his efforts this evening, no doubt, turning John Mullins. And giving Dylan Desmond no chance.
He probably had a similar chance here later on in the game that he dropped into Dylan Desmond's hands, and if he did the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get another piece of footage once again, and we'll just obviously, Tom, Aghabullogue will be disappointing. Aghabullogue will be disappointed with what happened. And we're just trying to get up another piece of footage as we look. Our next piece of footage here, Tom. Eire Óg going in with an opportunity and goal.
Yeah, and look at the experience here. Kevin Hallisey, he plays it across the square to Kieran Sheehan. Kieran Sheehan sees the run off his shoulder from Brian Cochran. Again, it was just the strength of the shot. It was actually probably nearly going over the bar. And Finbar Foley, the strength of the shot, but I think it could have even nearly been going over the bar.
Tom, I'm going to put you under pressure here for a man of the match this evening. And look, I suppose late on in the game, when things were looking for who is going to get the man of the match.
Look, you have a lot of contenders there. I suppose Kieran Sheehan got 3 points. Daniel Goulding got a goal and a point, I think. He won a penalty in the first half. Kevin Hallisey came into the game, as did Colm O'Callaghan. Johnny Cooper, the fantastic game centre-back, and got a lot of ball in. But look, I suppose for crucial scores and experience at times, we probably have to go Daniel Goulding. Daniel
Goulding will be getting our man of the match for this evening. Daniel Goulding it will be, and as we look on to the final piece of footage here, Tom, a chance for Eire Óg or Aghabullogue late in the game. This was the chance
here's
of
Luke Casey take it on. Look, I suppose he did the right thing in going for the goal. Great defending there by
the full back. I think he's done with a Hurley here.
You know. Let's have a look at it again. So he got inside here. There were a point down here now at this stage, let's remember. So he was going for the goal. He had a man inside him.
I think the question the Aghabullogue supporter would be asking is, did Dermot Hurley, well, did he get the Hurley over the arm or over the shoulder? Is it careless use of the hurley? That'd be the question.
It looked like swinging in over the shoulder, right? Like, but look, I don't think so. I think it would have been a soft free.
So we're waiting for the presentation to take place down in front of us. Marco Sheacon, Eire Óg le Conte Corky, come Lucas Corky. Waiting for the captains, Kevin Hallisey and John Kelleher, to join them on stage. But obviously these celebrations, Tom, it's a famous day, not in mind of what has been a famous year for 2020, albeit of course we're playing these games in 2021. Up Premier Senior football and up to third grade hurling for the following season.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Like, look, and if you go back 15 or 20 years, I suppose Eire Óg would have been junior football and they would have been intermediate hurling. But as a club, I suppose maybe it's an influx of housing and people coming into the parish. The club has grown. They've had a lot of underage players come through. I know they do a lot of work in the school next door there in Ovens and Farron across the road, and that's beginning to show. They won minor counties back in 08 and 06, and they went on to win under 21 counties. And like we spoke before the game, look, when you've the likes of Daniel Goulding and Kieran Sheehan in your club, for young fellas to look, the club can only go in one direction, and they seem to be going that way.
And as for Aghabullogue, they're doing a lot of great things in the club, really developing it, moving to the next level. And for them, I suppose you're trying to get the next bit of talent to move up to the next level to get onto this team again.
You are. And even the way they played the game there tonight was exemplary. You know, you've the likes of Shane Tarrant there, Matthew Bradley, Dan O'Deneen, really good style of hurling. They fought their socks off in the first half, but Eire Óg matched that intensity in the second half, and they just couldn't get a betterment of it, you know. They lost the game by 2 points. They will look back for a few questionable decisions, you could argue, and a few chances that they probably let put astray. But at the end of the day, Eire Óg were deserving winners. But Aghabullogue, similarly to Eire Óg, they have a big parish, they have a big pick, and they're only going in one direction as well. And I know a lot of people do a lot of good work back there.
The voice of Tom Kenny, two-time All-Ireland winning champion 2004, 2005 with Cork. And we'll be looking forward, while we have a chance maybe, just to quickly touch before the presentation takes place. We know one finalist for the All-Ireland final in 2 weeks, Limerick. Who is going to join them tomorrow?
Hopefully Cork. No, look, Cork have a great chance going up tomorrow, and this is no disrespect to the two teams playing tomorrow, but I think they'll both be delighted in that they're playing each other, not Limerick or Waterford. We probably saw Waterford today in that time caught up with them 4 weeks in a row. Hopefully it won't be the case with Cork tomorrow. They're starting Shane Barrett in the game. Fresh legs, I suppose you could argue. But I think they have a great chance, Cork, to get a victory tomorrow, to get a win over Kilkenny. They haven't beaten Kilkenny in Croke Park since 2004. They'll be looking to correct that record and build on the success of the minors and the under-20s over the last number of weeks.
We'll touch more in a second, because the presentation is just about to take place for the final of the Co-op Superstores Cork Intermediate A Hurling Championship Final. Mark Sheehan is going to be presiding over this presentation of the inaugural competition.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Cork County Board, I want to warmly congratulate both teams, Eire Óg, victors this evening, and Aghabullogue, serving up a fantastic and enthralling Cork County Intermediate A hurling final. We've all just eagerly awaited this match for many months, and certainly lived up to the expectations of all the followers. There's always great rivalry and great friendship between Aghabullogue and Eire Óg. There was no doubt that both teams would serve up a great match this evening, and that's what they did. They commend the players, the clubs, and all who brought that out this evening. I want to, on behalf of the county board, to acknowledge the presence and acknowledge the sponsorship of Co-op Superstores Eire Óg as competition sponsors for the Cork County Hurling Championships. They're represented tonight by Pat Murphy and Dermot Foley. I want to, on behalf of everyone, to thank the referee, Brian Murphy, and his officials, and particularly to the voluntary stewards and the event control team who organised the match here in Cork tonight. So it's now, first of all, delighted to announce that Daniel Goulding is the man of the match for Eire Óg this evening. So that's Brian Murphy on behalf of the Co-op Superstores to present Young Churchy Daniel. It's been a fantastic year for Eire Óg in 2020, and we've won second county competition, which is a fantastic achievement, and congratulate you warmly for that. To Aghabullogue, obviously very disappointed this evening, but for both teams and both clubs, the 2021 championship awaits in the next few weeks. So tonight belongs to Eire Óg. We warmly congratulate them, and I'm now delighted to hand over the cup to the joint captain and John Kelleher.
Leave off the Irish, but I'd say I'm delighted and privileged, myself and John Kay, to bring this cup back to Parish Owens. And first of all, we start off with the hands of Aghabullogue. Look, it's tough to lose like that. We fought every time we played, down to the years, even in 2016, we fought tooth and nail. Tonight, look, it just went our way. We're back and forth, so look, hard luck and 3 cheers for Aghabullogue. Second of all, I'd like to thank obviously Patrick Reid. The pitch is immaculate. Do you know, I suppose we came back here 6 weeks ago playing football, it's still in pristine condition. Thanks very much for that. I suppose, look, obviously it's been a rough year for everyone across the whole world in terms of COVID, but Joe, if we stuck together, this group of players, so you're second to none. Again, I say, I'm privileged to stand here on behalf of you. The band we have from 16-year-olds up to 37-year-olds in Timo is unbelievable. Just a big thank you in relation to our backroom team. You know, what can I say? The one man, Niall Hannon, came into us last year. You know, all the engineers we felt over us, and we, you know, got coach hurling, but what he did this year is absolutely scandalous. So for Niall, thank you very much for everything. To the 3 Johns, you're 3 wise men, I suppose, for us. You know, Kevin Murray, what can I say about this man? Every single person on the pitch here knows what he's given to Eire Óg down 3 years. So, Kev, this one's through, right? I don't have much more to say, but we'll enjoy this one, and I hope everyone, this gives a lift for everyone in Ovens and Farn during these rough times. So let's hope God will see you over the next few days.
Well, it is a famous night for the parish of Ovens and Farn, who take home the inaugural competition in the Cork Intermediate A Hurling Championship, the 4th grade of hurling in Cork, and Ovens advance and proceed to go to the third grade in the upcoming season, which starts in September, of course, depending on what happens tomorrow. They will join in Group A, Carrigaline, Corsia Rovers, Youghal and Eire Óg. A massive lift for Eire Óg, who have done the double, Premier Senior Football and 3rd grade hurling. Tom, are they the deserving winners on the night?
I think so. Look, if on the balance of play in the first quarter, I suppose they're only a point down, or 3 points down, sorry, at the first water break, 9-6, and they'd done a lot of donkey work there. They fell away for the second quarter of the first half, but in the second half they brought that fight to the game, they brought that intensity, they were a lot more sharper, and on the balance as it went on in the second half, deserving winners, yeah.
And I think from an Aghabullogue point of view, Mark Sheehan pretty much got spot on today, earlier on, and now again. For both clubs, yes, celebrations, socially distanced, safety and whatever, but they need to get themselves gathered back together again, because it's only 4 weeks away before the 2021 championships get underway. That's
correct, yeah. And even if you go back to the 2019 championship, Patrick, there, Aghabullogue got to a semi-final against Blackrock. Okay, they got to a final in 2020, in the 2020 championship, let's say. So look, they just need to get back up on the horse for the 2021 championship and see can they go a step further. They're thereabouts. They will be thereabouts again, and they just need to use the positives from the year that they've had in terms of getting to a final, using the likes of Matthew Bradley, Dan O'Deneen, Shane Tarrant, all these guys, and Ian Barry Murphy as well. The experience of playing in this game, Luke Casey as well, will stand to them when they go into the 2021 hurling championship. And look, it is a difficult thing to do, but you need to get back on the horse straight away and just get over it.
So it's a famous night for Eire Óg tonight. Tom, I need to ask you about tomorrow and just go slightly more in depth on tomorrow's game. Limerick have qualified. Cork, what do they need to do tomorrow to cut off Kilkenny so early and try and get over the line?
Look, the easy answer, I suppose, Patrick, is a lot of people are saying Cork need to use their space and keep doing what they're doing in terms of going for the juggler and things like that and get their scores. But at the same time, they need to match Kilkenny, especially in the first 15-20 minutes. We all know what Kilkenny will bring to the table. Anywhere you ask, and not just because it's in Cork, people are saying Cork have a great chance, it's 50-50. Nobody is mentioning Kilkenny and what they bring to the table. They will bring a big effort to the table, much like Aghabullogue did here in the first half in terms of that fight, that willingness to get on the ball and to win those dirty battles. That's what Kilkenny will bring, and that's what Cork need to match as well. But they need to match it right from the word go right to the finish and marry that in with a bit of speed and with that gut instinct and that newfound killer instinct in terms of getting goals.
Just looking at the shot here in front of us, Owen O'Shea, after having that surgery, is in the middle of the Eire Óg gang. Great to see Owen in on the act there this evening.
Yeah, and look, sometimes when an injured player is out, it spurs on the rest of the team.
Yeah.
You know, he brings a great confidence to the team for Eire Óg. And as I said, when someone's out injured, sometimes it gives that team a bit more of something to fight for in terms of winning the trophy or winning a match.
Just back to the game tomorrow. Are you surprised Shane Barrett is starting corner forward, or what seems to be starting tomorrow?
Look, I'd be a great advocate of Shane. I've seen him in UCC with the freshers and what he can bring to the game. Top of the ground, if it's a dry day tomorrow, he'll bring a great speed and a great energy to the game. I would have been saying all along that he needs to see more game time, but it is a bit of a surprise, I suppose, to spring him. But it'll suit him down to the ground playing up in Croke Park. And like I've said before during the week, that Cork need to play the likes of Shane and these guys, Alan Connolly, they need to play the game and not the occasion, you know. Shane will be going up to Croke Park, big imposing stadium, playing Kilkenny, you know, but it's a game, it's against another team, it's between the white lines, and that's the mentality he needs to take tomorrow.
And look at the other side then, Robert Downey, well, whoever he's facing, whether it's Walter Welch, TJ Reid.
Yeah, look, you don't know who Kilkenny are going to start.
For Cork.
Surprised Walter Welch isn't named to start. He possibly will be. TJ Reid in full forward. Not sure if he'll stay in there all the time because he does a lot of play and link-up play out here for Kilkenny. But if the ball goes in high to TJ Reid and Robert Downey, while TJ Reid might be physically stronger, Robert is a big man as well and well capable of winning the ball in the air. So hopefully he'll get off on the right footing tomorrow. And with the bigger crowd, 24,000 up there, and Cork always take a big following. Hopefully the crowd will get on Cork's backs and bring them along the way.
Sure will indeed. Look, Tom, thanks very much for joining us. I know you're heading to the match tomorrow, so enjoy the match tomorrow.
Looking forward to it, Patrick.
And hopefully Cork come out on the right side of the result.
Hopefully, please God, it'll be great.
Tom Kenny, thanks very much for joining us this evening on the Irish Examiner live stream for this Cork Intermediate A Hurling Championship, where Eire Óg have come out on top on a scoreline of 216 to Aghabullogue's 117. My thanks to Sam on camera and to Kieran on sound for the evening. Do stay tuned to irishexaminer.com/sport. We'll have a report and reaction to come in the next next while or so, and of course watch out for the social channels tomorrow, and of course Monday, when we'll have some reaction to these two finals over the weekend on Monday's paper. And of course Dalo's Hurling Podcast will return on Monday evening with the Four Stooges back in the hot seat, looking back at the semi-finals and looking forward to the All-Ireland final. My thanks to everyone for joining us this evening. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. Congratulations to Eire Óg. They've done the double. They've taken home the Premier Intermediate, or they've gone home with the Senior A Football Championship and now taking home the Intermediate A Hurling Championship. From Páirc Uí Chaoimh, good night and God bless.